Welcome to day 2 of IHSA state football. 4 teams return home with championships in their belt. 4 more try to do it today. I'm Darius Joshua. He is Edgy Tim O'Halloran. It's another exciting day of action here today. Nazareth Academy getting started here in the 5A game, trying to win their second back-to-back championship. What are you looking for today?
Tremendous championship pedigrees in game 1, and then boom, it just gets better the rest of the day. Let's go.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty exciting. We'll see if these 4 classes today can match that excitement from yesterday. Let's look at the schedule we have here today, starting in that 5A championship game, then 6A, 7A, and 8A. 4 more champions to be crowned at Hancock Stadium at Illinois State University. And for the first game, let's head over to Illinois State University, where Matt Rodewald and Jack McInerney are standing by. Hey, guys.
Hey, Darius. Hey, Tim. Thank you so much, and we are looking forward to a wonderful day of football. We've got some blue blood programs in terms of the state of Illinois all day long, and we start right out of the gate with Joliet Catholic looking to add to their trophy case. And really unique because of the fact that, you know, they have such a pedigree, and Nazareth up and coming quickly with how successful they've been in the last decade.
That's an excellent point, because obviously Joliet Catholic has been in so many championship games. They have a record that goes on, and Nazareth is starting the same way. Now, Nick Ratke was originally at Driscoll and got it going there, and now he's at Nazareth and has it going there. So we're looking at 2 very similar programs, one that's been very consistent and one that is rising up.
Just ignore the records for a moment until you see the road that Nazareth took to get here. As you see Joliet Catholic first, they had to take on Peoria and their offense and shut that down. Peoria was in this position last year. They won't be this year because of Joliet Catholic. They stomped all over a Morris team that was good during the regular season but had to deal with some injuries, and then they were able to beat Providence for the second time this season to get to a state championship game for the 20th time. As you see Joliet Catholic take the field at 10-3. They've lost some games in the Catholic League, but it prepared them for the postseason, and that's how they got to normal. As for Nazareth and their road, well, when you start 0-4, you have to have things go perfect, and it did until week 9. And they were the first 4-5 team to win a game in the postseason, knocking out the runner-up from last year in Class 6A in Prairie Ridge, got by Glenbard South, beat a very good Carmel team as well, and then avenged that week 9 loss to St. Francis with a 38-31 win in LaGrange Park. Nazareth will throw the ball a little bit more, and we are excited to see the action on the field. The Roadrunners are on the road to history. Can Nazareth become the first Illinois team with 5 losses to win a state title, or will Joliet Catholic add to their already robust trophy case with state championship number 16? The 5A title game coming up next.
The IHSA Football State Championships are being brought to you in part by Country Financial. Find out why over 1 million families let us protect their lives and livelihoods. Visit countryfinancial.com.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and they care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
Would you look at that? I'm in the classroom again. But this time, I can apply these skills to make some money. Lots of money.
Have a cough, sore throat, or fever, or need care now for pink eye, a urinary tract infection, or a rash? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Get care in person, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, even holidays, and walk out with a prescription for your care if needed. Make a reservation today or start a virtual visit 24/7. It's just that easy. Find a location near you. osfoncall.org/urgent care.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
It is the final day of the football season here in Illinois. Joliet Catholic and Nazareth set to go. The keys of the game brought to you by Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Well, Joliet Catholic, as you can see, must be able to run the ball. And they run the ball very effectively. That's something that the tradition at Joliet Catholic. And they're going to have to prevent the explosive plays because Nazareth is very explosive, not only throwing the football, but running the ball. They've got great speed. For Nazareth, they're going to have to control the run game that Joliet Catholic has. They control the clock and they control the run. And the big thing for Nazareth, since they're so young, is the discipline and be able to read your keys.
Keys of the game, of course, and now let's send it downstairs to the third member of our crew today. Let's say hi to Casey Standahar.
Hello, guys. It's going to be a battle in the trenches today for these two teams. And after an 0-4 start against some really tough teams, Nazareth head coach Tim Rackey said, this is exactly what we want. He said, we're used to having our backs against the wall, playing a very demanding schedule. Two players he'll rely heavily on today are quarterback Logan Malachuk and defensive back Eddie McLean. Coach Rackey said, Eddie to our defense is like what Logan means to our offense. They're both just infectious players and great leaders on this field.
Two kids that were sophomores and freshmen a year ago, getting more experience and more to go. And that's the thing about this Nazareth team. They are still young with all the experience at the state championship level experience. We are underway for our Class 5A state championship game. And the opening kickoff for Jaden Fauski. And the return out to the 23-yard line, and that's where Nazareth will start. Joliet Catholic won the toss, chose to defer, so it'll be the Hilltoppers getting in the second half. Nazareth's offense we see first. Go through the starting lineups, and a lot of experience on that front line as well. Sam Steck, a tough, very funny, true hog is the best way to describe Sam Steck, the 6-foot senior. Christian Malachuk, the younger brother of Logan Malachuk for Nazareth. And, of course, these starting lineups presented by OSF. Get the skilled players here you see. Get those shortly. And the first play, and sent out to the right. That's Trenton Walker. And so a pickup of maybe 8 yards on play number 1.
Well, this is exactly what Nazareth wants to do. They want to make Joliet Catholic's defense very aware of the fact that they can throw the ball. And what happens is Nazareth has some really very good receivers. Not just one, but they have about 3 or 4 excellent receivers.
Logan Malachuk completing his first pass of the day, 60% completion rating. He has thrown for more than 3,000 yards this year. 2nd and 3. Flip to the left side. That's Jimmy Penley. Slips by a tackler. Can't slip by a second one, but spins forward for the first down. And so Penley will move the chains for the Roadrunners on their first drive of this morning.
Well, what's interesting is Nazareth considers throwing the ball to the outside just like a pitch or a toss sweep to a running back. They're so confident in their passing game that they'll do it at any time with any sequence at any stage of the game.
And so it'll be Walker out to the right side, Penley in motion. Angelo is in the backfield with Malachuk. He'll take his first handoff of the morning and slips outside of the 25 before immediately being stuffed. And there he is. Our first look at Dylan Johnson, the Wisconsin commit, the All-State first-teamer, 6'2", 280-pound senior.
Well, you want to know where he is so you can make sure that if you have audibles in your game plan that you can make sure you stay away from him. That can be easier said than done, especially at the high school level.
Shedding blocks immediately. Still picked up about a couple yards there, 4 on that. And so Malachuk will throw out to the right. Here's McLean. Can he slip through a tackler? He does. Towards the first down marker, and he gets right there at the stick, and he will move the chains out to the 43-yard line.
Now, when you have explosive receivers like Nazareth has, that's the big factor right there. You saw that he was on an island with a defensive back, and now you're saying that defensive back's going to have to tackle him in the open field. In that particular instance, he did not do that. And that's crucial in a game like this when you have explosive wide receivers.
4 completions so far. 4 different receivers have caught passes for Nazareth in this opening drive. 1st and 10 from the 43. Kaminsky in motion. He'll come in as an H-back sometimes, and They run the ball right behind him here. McLean on the carry.
Very effective offense. We talked about this in the open there when we said about the keys for Joliet Catholic. They have not probably run up against a team that's as explosive as Nazareth. They don't give you a ton of formations, but everybody that's involved in the offense has the ability to go all the way on any given play.
Two receivers to the far side. Fauski. And they shift the formation as they move Kaminsky over, and they're going to design a run here. Malachuk, he can carry it and move a little bit, but stuffed in the backfield. And that was some help from Ty Sesta, the safety coming up, 5'9" senior. He flew to the football and was able to prevent anything major there, and that brings up third down.
Now, Malachuk's not a great threat to run with the football, but he will run with it. He averages about 5 runs a game, which isn't a lot. And but that's sometimes just to keep those defensive ends at home and not putting too much pressure on him when he wants to throw the football.
Big early third down here. Trenton Walker near side. Jake Sestone in the slot. Kaminsky on the field still. He'll be the H-back again. They fake the run this time. Malachuk looks left side, and he's got a man, and it could not haul it in. It was Sestone that was there. And that will bring up fourth down, so they will throw downfield, and that's a good example of what kind of looks they're looking for, man coverage.
Well, that was an excellent job of defense right there, because he ran with him the entire time. He did not turn to get on his heels immediately. What he did is he read the eyes of the receiver. And when that receiver starts looking back and starts raising an arm, that's when you start looking back. Sometimes defensive backs in high school just do it too soon, and that's when you end up with the big play. Good job defensively there.
Lesroy Tittle, we'll see him a lot on defense and a little bit on offense. He will do the punting duty, standing at his 35. Sesta is back there with Beitler, and a fair catch called for and caught by Beitler at the 18-yard line. We will see the Joliet Catholic offense for the first time when we come back. We are scoreless 3 minutes in of our Class 5A state championship matchup.
Prepare for the holidays with great Black Friday deals at Menards. We have the perfect gifts for your family and friends, or to help finish your projects, both big and small. Now's the perfect time to hurry in and get these amazing stocking stuffers and other fantastic gifts. Menards Black Friday deals are so great that even Santa himself can't resist.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
The IHSA Football State Championships are being brought to you in part by Menards, SIU Carbondale, and by Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council.
Joliet Catholic coming into this one with 3 losses. 10-3 on the year, trying to win their 15th state championship, or 16th, I should say. It's hard to keep track, of course. Starting lineups brought to you by OSF. You see this offensive line up front. Brady McKeon, 6'2", 280 senior, and a couple of juniors out there. There's actually 4 juniors surrounding McKeon up front, and Andres Munoz is their quarterback, and getting a little D2 interest, some NAIA interest. He can throw the ball a little bit, and the fact that they have Adrian Washington as a guy to throw to, they'll do some pitch and catch, but it's still about the run, and A.J. Grisby is their feature back. You'll see quite a bit here in this one. 1,500 yards on the ground on the season. So the first time we see the Joliet Catholic offense here as they go to Grigsby. He cuts inside, and there's Kaminsky right there to stop the Hilltopper rushing attack for about 4 yards.
Well, when you have an offensive line the size of Joliet Catholic's, they average 276 pounds. Now, I'm not talking about a college offensive line. I'm not talking about a pro offensive line. This is a high school offensive line. Those front 5, 276 pounds. And that's an amazing statistic. And the thing is, they run pretty well because they do a lot of trapping and a lot of pulling.
Mandated by law to go left to right. 290, 280, 235, 260, and 315. Your right tackle. Munoz to throw. He'll get Washington. It's a catch. And out to the 29-yard line. It will be, where do they mark it exactly? It looks like a first down. They'll move the chains. And that's the dynamic, though, you see with Washington that makes Joliet Catholic just a little bit different than what we've seen in past history. They are willing to throw it more and will find situations where they can stretch the field a little bit.
Well, that's something that Joliet Catholic really didn't do for years, but now you're starting to get more skilled players. And so you want to make sure that you get the good ones, the explosive kids, the ball, and that's exactly what they do here at Joliet Catholic.
Here's Grigsby, big hole out to the right side, and he gets some space down that sideline. Stiff arms McLean and driven out of bounds. And a big pickup, the first big play of this morning, with Joliet Catholic flipping the field, and the Hilltoppers are in Nazareth territory after a 35-yard run from Grigsby.
Well, and we talked about how big that offensive line is, but we also talked about their mobility. And on that particular play, Brady McEwen, number 52, was out pulling 6'2", 280 pounds, and he was out in front of the running back on a power play.
And as we come to the line, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. End around. And Harness trying to get to the corner. He will be shoved out of bounds. In fact, that's Nate McGreeny, the 6-foot junior. McGreeny, it's the 41st carry on the year. His 24-yard pickup there will put them in the red zone right at the 10-yard line.
And again, they take advantage of that offensive line, the size, but also the mobility, where they're able to trap and they're able to run counters. And in that case there, they ran a power where they get the big lineman out in front. And when you have linemen that can run and they're 280 pounds, that's quite a offensive front.
See Adrian Washington lining up to the right. They'll give to Grigsby up the middle. Inside the 5 and inside the 2 before being dropped. Those big chunk plays totaled 61 yards in those 2 plays back to back.
And again, you're getting that big lineman, Jake Jakovich, out in front at 6'2", 260 pounds, and you get him up leading the running back into the hole, and that linebacker or safety that's coming up to fill, and they see that big 260-pounder in front of them. That's kind of intimidating.
Put Washington to the far side on 2nd down and goal from the 2. Stringham is the up back. They give to Grigsby, cross the goal line, busting through for the touchdown, and Joliet Catholic goes in front here in this first quarter of our 5A title game.
And that's exactly where that size of the offensive line pays dividends when you're down here on the 2-yard line and you're able to get that surge and driving people off the football.
Got a flag down that came in fairly late, and they're talking about it right now.
And I don't think that would affect the play. It might have been a dead ball call after the touchdown.
I don't think there was enough time for a hold to develop, with a 2-yard run there. Get a look at the head coach for Joliet Catholic, Jake Jaworski, in his 7th season as the head boss. I'm calling on sportsmanlike here.
Number 25. That'll be administered on the kickoff. Touchdown is good.
Yeah, touchdown kind of, so it was after dead ball.
That's Dave Green, your official today, the head referee from Chatham. Longtime referee for sure. And his crew, Jim Lovelace, Rob Sitton, Art Moore, and Darren Soder. And congratulations for getting the 10 a.m. game, and then they get out of here. They just enjoy the rest of their Saturday.
Well, now they've got a heck of a explosive weapon for Joliet Catholic. I got Pat Durkin. He's going to be kicking the extra point. 55 for 56.
And hold on here. Somebody moved. Somebody came across here. Garrett Reese was one of those that came a little early. And if you're Coach Jaworski right now, you're moving up to the 1-yard line. What do you think?
Well, this is a little early. I think when you have a kicker like Durkin, you're going to take advantage of his accuracy. As I mentioned, 55 for 56 with extra point. He's 10 for 11 with field goals, his longest being 43. And he's also their punter. and he averages 42 yards a punt. So you talk about an accurate kicker for both kicking and punting. What a tool to have for your offense.
It'll be Munoz in the hold for the extra point. And to that point, Jack, let's just watch the power of this go through. This is not really any doubt. As long as it's accurate, it's going to be good. And it is good. See, right down the middle. Perfect. Durkin puts it through. 7-0 lead after the 6-play drive of 83 yards. Joliet Catholic with the early lead.
When you plant Whiffles hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Whiffles.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-800-335-8215.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that high-yielding hybrids soon would be there. Hope you get everything you want this year. Happy holidays from your friends at Whiffles Hybrids.
Well, we know Joliet Catholic can run the football, but big plays are the key, and that 2 plays on that to get 61 of the 83 yards to get in pay dirt, and Joliet Catholic with a 7-0 lead.
Well, and during that drive, they took advantage of the fact that their offensive linemen are big, but also the fact that they can run. You get those big kids out in front on traps and power plays, and the game that's won is at the line of scrimmage. You know, people can talk all about the skill kids, but in games like this, whoever wins the line of scrimmage, in most cases, is going to win the football game.
It was a good start for Elijah Watt and company up front, and now Nazareth will have a chance to respond. The Joliet Catholic program, of course, the 3 losses this year: St. Rita, St. Francis, St. Ignatius. Those are nothing to sneeze at. It's good competition for sure, but once they got into the postseason, certainly turned the page and caught everyone's attention with not just the win against Peoria, but how they blew them out. Just that's a team that doesn't get run off the field very often in the Lions. And so because of that penalty, by the way, they're going to kick from the 25. See how Durkin does. And he'll let her fly. And it's high end over end. He'll be taken at the 22-yard line by Ed McLean. Cuts back to the middle and out to the 42-yard line. So good field position because of the penalty. Nazareth will start 1st and 10. All right, well, this is starting our day. We get more Chicago-centric schools in the Chicagoland area. Joliet Catholic, it's a straight shot down I-55. What do you think, about an hour 15, hour and a half?
Right around there.
Somewhere there. Watch out for officer friendly as you're going down I-55, especially if you're on your way back. Nazareth, pretty much the same trip. They just have to go a little bit further, though, as they head down I-55 to head to Normal, Grange Park. Too much construction at 294. It just takes you a little bit longer these days. Malchuk to throw. Caught. Nice catch. High catch. And stayed in bounds enough to make that play. Drew Fowler with the catch. First down pickup for the 5'8 senior. He'll spend most of his time doing kicking duties, but you'll see some offensive time as well.
It's always nice to see these young players make hands catches. Years ago, they used to let the ball get into their body, and it wasn't as efficient now. And, of course, I think part of it is the gloves. They've got to have a lot of stickum on those gloves.
There's Angelo, and that didn't really go very far. Maybe a yard or 2, but Dylan Johnson there slamming that door shut. I think Nazareth passing attack, they're going to be effective, but if they can get the run going, that is going to be key to their offense and having that multi-dimensional set against Dylan Johnson and company.
Well, Joliet Catholic really doesn't see a lot of teams that throw the ball as much as Nazareth does. And in many cases, you can have a team that throws the ball a lot. But if you've only got one receiver that's your explosive player, that's one thing that you can defend. But when you've got 3 or 4, that's a whole different story.
Malchuk rolling to his right, throwing. He's got Penley, and it's tipped away. It was Zach Beitler that got a hand on it, and he read that coming. Came across to help from that safety slot and knocked it down. It's 3rd down coming up.
That was really a really good athletic play at the top of your screen. You'll see him come right in right there at the last second. Now, he was on the other side of the hash mark, so that was really a good effort of reading the receiver on the break he was making because they were rolling in that direction, so that kind of helped him rotate that way.
If Malachuk leads a little more on that throw, that's a touchdown. Instead, it's 3rd down and 9. Pistol set, McLean in motion. Here's Malachuk. He'll keep it, and he can't get through, and he'll be stopped right at midfield. And Zach Pomato, who had an interception last week, gets a sack this time.
That's a well-coached defense. When they're told your responsibility is to stay home and not go with any of the receivers. Sometimes you'll find defensive linemen and linebackers that fly out of there too soon, but they read their keys, as we mentioned in the opening segment, and they stayed home for that quarterback draw. Did a nice job of defending that.
So 4th down and 15. It's in the area of fake punt, but we'll see. It's something you always keep an eye on. Instead, it'll be Tittle that will send it to the sideline, and it will roll out around the 19-yard line. And so Joliet Catholic will come back on the field, already successful, 83 total yards so far.
Well, what's interesting to me is the fact that Joliet Catholic on Nazareth's first 2 drives has been very effective in stopping them. A lot of people would say, well, Joliet Catholic is not used to playing against this kind of an offense, but that's a big factor for a team that's been successful. Nazareth's the 5A defending state champion. They've been here now. They're a very young team, and they've been going extremely well. They've been playing in the playoffs, but those are 2 big drive stoppers that Joliet Catholic has made.
If you're a senior on either one of these sidelines, you've stood in the room of a state championship game before with Joliet Catholic 2 years ago at the 4A level. This will be Grigsby. Big hole, slides inside. He's got room to run. It's a foot race to the sideline. Grigsby, can he outrun Penley? He's trying to get to the corner, and he will get tripped up at the 4-yard line. H.J. Grigsby with the big play to put Joliet Catholic in business, 78 yards on the run.
And that play was actually made. Now, granted, he did a nice cut to get caught by the safety, but watch the lineman pull out in front of him right there. Look at this block. That's a 300-pounder out in front of him to set up that run.
How about Jimmy Penley sticking with this run to make that tackle?
Great hustle.
Nothing's ever a guarantee 3 yards away. Keep that tackle in mind here. That's his longest run of the year. Previously, it was at 51 yards, so 78 yards for him. He's already over 100, I would imagine. Grigsby cuts inside at the goal line. Does he get across? No, they say short, inside the 1.
Now again on
29 yards
on that play, Matt, excuse me, they're getting those linemen are pulling on every single running play. Let's watch number 52 coming right in right there. Brady McEwen, 280 pounds, and he's running like he's about a 200-pound running back.
So if you're Jake Pinkney, 6'5", senior, about 195 pounds, and you got a 280-pound freight train pulling from the left guard station.
Well, and you see shade coming at you because he's blocking the sun out, so all I see is shade coming at me.
Munoz under center. Grigsby again. Ooh, tries to get through to a blocker, but was that Kaminsky that came flying in? It was. He came all the way in with pressure and stopped that before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage. That's a tremendous athletic play.
And that's why he is being recruited by most schools in the Midwestern area. You can see he cuts penetration right through the gap.
That's the definition of staying low, kids. He went right through 2 guys, and the only way he could get there quick enough was doing just that. So this is a big 3rd down now. Again, keep Penley's tackle in mind.
And keep in mind, Joliet Catholic's offensive line is 276 pounds.
Stringham will get it this time, and he'll be stopped again. Stopped and dropped for a loss, actually, of about a yard. And if you're Jake Jaworski, you do have a bit of a decision here. Do you want the guaranteed points or do you want the touchdown?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, guaranteed points are really not kicking the ball, but guaranteed points to me are when you have a 276-pound offensive line.
Offense
to get in when you're a yard and a half out.
Offense stays on the field.
Plus, they're going to give him bad field position if they don't make it. So I'm going for it all the way.
String him in the backfield with Grigsby. 4th down and goal from the 2-yard line. They'll pitch it out. He dropped the pitch, and he fell on it, and the fumble, and they don't score. The fumble on the dropped pitch gives Nazareth a chance to slam the door in the 4th goal and goal line stand.
And that play would have been wide open on the edge because everybody was inside the tackle positions. And again, Matt, you had to call, take the 3 points, but I just never think in high school football 3 points are the easiest thing. Now, what he did is he took his eyes off the ball. He was looking at where he was going to run. And big stop for Nazareth. Let's see now if they can get out of this situation.
Huge momentum shift after probably 140 yards of total offense. Nazareth has not been able to get going. And that one caught Walker, pulled out of bounds to the 11-yard line. 160 yards of total offense. Nazareth with just 34 yards.
Now, most teams in high school wouldn't be throwing the ball coming out of their own end zone, basically. And you can see the confidence there that Nazareth has in their passing game.
This is just what they do. They got 3 receivers near to the far side. And Malachuk will roll that way. Nice slot catch and run. And a 1st down and out to the 30-yard line. Nazareth moves the football. It's Drew Fowler again. And a little more of a role here on the offensive side of the football.
Well, Malachuk's a very active athlete as quarterback. So a lot of times you get him rolling out, and sometimes the secondary breaks down whenever they see a quarterback rolling out. They start looking at him and lose sight of where the receiver is.
He'll keep it again, and he's got plenty of pursuit behind him, and that play gets blown up. Daniel Rouse, generational Joliet Catholic Hilltopper, 5'11", 200-pound junior.
And that's something to touch on, Matt. There are so many kids coming to Joliet Catholic whose dads played there, their uncles, their cousins, their nephews. It's one of those football schools where all the families seem to go there. There's just so many connections.
And that is a loss of about 4. Malachuk, by the way, 5 of 7 in the year for check that 6 of 8 for 52 now. He will be in the area of 30 passes at some point. Here's another one. Malachuk lets it fly. He's got Fauski, but he overshot him a bit. And good coverage on that one as well. That was Jaworski in on the coverage, and that will bring up 3rd down and 14.
Well, a point that I don't think that we made, or I didn't make, is the fact that, you know, both these schools are from the same conference. They're both from the Catholic League, East Suburban Catholic Conference, but they're in different divisions.
There's about 7 divisions.
There is about 7 divisions. Nazareth's in the orange, and Joliet Catholic is in the green.
Malachuk trying to escape, and he will not. And dropped. It's Dylan Johnson with the stop just behind the line of scrimmage. Should call it a sack, and it will be a time for punting for Nazareth as we wind down this first quarter. Wind not a factor, so they let it expire. But Dylan Johnson coming roaring through. 2 blockers, 3 blockers. He'll find his way to the quarterback. And the sack and stop for Dylan Johnson, for him, his 11th sack of the year. We've gone through 1 quarter of play. Joliet Catholic's offense is humming, but a 4th down for a goal line stand keeps Nazareth in business. Take a timeout. 2nd quarter coming up from Normal Hancock Stadium, the final football day of the season.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $1.99. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you.
with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Wait, stop scrolling. I'm here to help.
For what?
The ACA Health Insurance Marketplace open enrollment is here. You can find a health plan that works for you and your family, or change your current plan. Through GetCoveredIllinois.gov, certified local navigators like myself can help you enroll and find out if you qualify for financial help.
I really need to do that.
That's why I'm here. Don't change that profile pic. You look great. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Hiring Chicago's IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors of Chicago and Cook County are the choice for your renewable energy needs. All of our professionals undergo extensive training, emphasizing the latest EV, energy storage, and solar solutions, which sets us apart from any competition. Take the uncertainty out of your transition to renewables and let Hiring Chicago deliver the next generation of clean energy to you.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $199. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Yeah.
Ready to start our second quarter from Hancock Stadium here in Normal on the campus of Illinois State University. Matt Rodewald, Jack McInerney, Casey Standahar with you here. Joliet Catholic with a 7-0 lead on Nazareth. And it'll be the Roadrunners punting here. Some pressure, not a ton for Tittle, who gets it away. Caught at the 40 by Beitler and right up to midfield before being drilled. And this is where Joliet Catholic will start their third possession. They've been able to run the ball. They've been able to run it in chunks.
Well, to me, one of the big plays was right there with him catching the football on the punt. Now, he got another 15 yards out of that. Oftentimes, kids let the ball bounce. And what happens on turf, you can lose another 20 yards. But in that first quarter, Matt, Joliet Catholic had 159 yards, and they had 103 on 2 plays. So that was kind of interesting that first quarter. And Nazareth had 6 completions to 4 different receivers. So that makes it tough for the secondary when they spread it out like that.
Munoz back under center and back to work with Grigsby, and a big hole in the left side. He'll get out to the sideline, and it's Penley right there to try and push him out of bounds. Won't have to. He'll go out on his own, but another big play as that one's down to the 17-yard line. 34 yards on the pickup. And he is knocking on the door of 150 already. And we're barely through a quarter.
You see the big lineman out in front again. And this is what they do. I mean, you're going to be seeing linemen all the time. You're going to think it's another running back, but it's not because they move so quickly. Now, Grigsby had 26 carries for 130 yards in that semifinal game against Providence last week.
A lot of turnovers they were able to set the table with as well. Probably those numbers would be bigger. Grigsby up the middle this time. And to maybe the 11-yard line. Kaminsky among the several that are stuffing this one backwards. Brendan Flanagan in the mix, the captain. As well as Nolan Daly, I should say. And they've been in the red zone every time. You look at Grigsby. Yes, the holes are big and truck could run through them. Maybe you and I could, but you got to have some vision. What do you like about Grigsby's vision?
Well, what I like is he stays behind his big blocker, and then when he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's in the linebacker area. He's got good, quick feet to break it to the outside, and then he shows the speed that he has. He's an effective runner. I mean, going inside and then the speed that he has when he breaks to the outside.
Looks like we're going to get a sideline warning on Nazareth. And so, just to explain the sideline warning, you see the white sideline to the white out-of-bounds line. It's really thick. Maybe our cameras can show it too. That's a 3-yard barrier, so to speak. There is a coach on each side, and his job is what?
The get-back coach.
You get back. He's the get-back coach. Get back. Everybody get back. If you're on that part of the field, you are not supposed to be. Grigsby still rumbling forward and maybe about a yard or two. Sometimes as an innocent bystander like a Casey Standahar on the sideline, you get involved in the get back where he's pushing you back too. It's like, no, I think I'm okay. I'm supposed to be in this area.
Well, Grisby's been the workhorse so far in this game, and both the guards have been workhorses. 52 Brady McCune and 72 Jake Jakovich. Both those guards pulling on almost every play, so they're getting a big workout as well as the running back.
Third down here, they go traditional I set with Stringham in front as the up back. Grigsby goes right behind him out to the 5, and you get inside that 5-yard line. It will be a first down, and first and goal coming up for Joliet Catholic.
They've been so effective running the football. It's putting a lot of pressure on that defensive line and linebackers for Nazareth. The matchup physically is pretty tough.
We started the day with gray, cloudy skies, overcast, kind of that raw November feel, and the sun is starting to peek through a little bit. And Nazareth looking right into the sun, just for perspective here, as they start this first and goal to go set, and a timeout from Joliet Catholic. They want to talk about it. They didn't get it lined up right, and I think after that goal line stand, they want to make sure they get some points on the board this
well,
time.
You know, anytime coaches use timeouts, there's situational timeouts, and this is a big one. When you're down in the red zone, you want to make sure you use it right.
Every day, Union Concrete contractors are fueling a foundation that lets our city stand tall. They bring the tools, training, and know-how required to bring your commercial projects in on time and with the highest levels of safety. Visit concreteil.com today to browse Northern Illinois' top union contractors specializing in commercial concrete and find the contractors you need to get your job done right.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
With you on the IHSA TV network. There's a few noteworthy alumni from this Nazareth team. Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy, who's playing in a pretty big game today, and NFL safety Julian Love. Coach Racky said he's so grateful when those two returned to Nazareth to speak to the team. He said McCarthy will come back to work out with the players, and it's never about what he's accomplished at Michigan. It's always about the culture and what he learned at Nazareth. Coach said, I'm in heaven when these guys come back. It impacts our players so much to see the importance of buying in on this team. Obviously, a big day for JJ today as he prepares for the game. Coach Racky said, after our 0-4 start this season at the end of September, I actually thought I was going to be able to go watch him play today. Matt?
He had plans, but, you know, someone's using that jersey right now, and he's got things to do. But, yeah, when you start 0-4, you don't think about the end of November. You just don't. It's just natural. First and goal from the 5 for Munoz. And the end around the other way to the corner and a touchdown. Nate McGree, third touchdown of the year. And Joliet Catholic goes up 2 scores.
Good call, because they've been running basically off tackle on that entire drive. And so you got everybody squeezing up inside. Good fake right there. And get to the outside. Get away from those people that are all boxed up inside.
It's a good speed to go past Garrett Reese, the 6'2 junior, try to chase him down to the corner there. And so Joliet Catholic seizes control of this one. And Nazareth fortunate that it's not even worse in terms of scores on the board here after that goal line stand. Durkin with a ton of pressure up front. That had no chance.
Well, he came through free as a
several
bird.
people came through. I want to say it was Jaden Fauski, maybe Ethan Enriquez on that. And so that is key. Missed extra points always come back. Let's watch it again.
He came right inside the wing.
It was Ethan Enriquez, the 5'7" senior, that came flying through there.
And when you have the wing out on the outside edge, the problem is he's got 2 people to block. If he steps out, they come on his inside shoulder. If he steps down, they come on his outside shoulder, and you can still have the angle to get to that kicker if you come on the outside shoulder. Obviously, it's a better angle on the inside, but that's a lot of pressure on a wing.
Well, the key is that you're supposed to step in and then put a hand out and in order to just deflect the...
Exactly.
But if you don't step in enough, it's way more dangerous than if just you're focusing on the outside guy.
Yeah, those are things that people take for granted and just say that was at the end of the ball game and that happened.
5 plays, 51 yards, about 2 minutes on that one. Durkin sends it deep. McLean to take it from the 8-yard line. McLean to the middle. A big hole. If he can get to the outside, he can. And a flag comes in. Hold on a second. He'll get to midfield. And that's going to come back more than anything else. And McLean upset as he knows. And it's going to pull some big-time yardage off this starting position for Nazareth. The officials discussing it. So working on the microphone there. See if we can get the call now.
Block in the back. On the return team. 10 yards, by the flag.
So we want to make sure we say as many names as possible because that's what this is all about. Yes, we're in the second quarter, but how about the starting lineups for OSF? Earlier we tried to show you Nazareth, but the graphic monster took those lineups, so we had to do it again. Joe Nicola and his crew, they're doing 8 games this weekend, so there's a lot to manage, so we appreciate their hard work. Here's your offensive line for Nazareth. As we mentioned, Sam Steck earlier, Christian Malachuk and Luke O'Gorman. And, of course, we'll get you the skill players here in a second. That one for McLean to the outside. He's got enough speed to get there, and he'll get across midfield before stepping out of bounds. And a good positive play for Nazareth on first down. 32 yards there. Mentioned Logan Malachuk. Of course, the quarterback leading the way. He's a guy who's, height and speed, those are the kinds of things that the intangibles or the numbers, so to speak, of as opposed to what kind of quarterback you're seeing. He's playing will step out of bounds. The flag comes in there. And you see the rest of this lineup includes Trenton Walker and Jimmy Penley, an experienced receiver from the state championship game last year. What have you seen from Malachuk in terms of what he can do at the next level? Yes, height, weight, speed, those are things that people look at maybe too much.
Well, he's got enough experience, you can say that. I mean, he's been starting since a freshman, and he's only a junior. Now, where people see these players nowadays, it used to be send me a tape. That doesn't happen anymore. Now, they're recruited when they go to a particular camp. For example, J.J. McCarthy goes to Michigan's camp in the summertime, and he performs there with all of their various drills and mechanics, and the coaches see the potential that he has, and that's when they recruit him.
10 yards.
And many of them recruit. J.J. McCarthy was recruited when he was a freshman or sophomore.
You've got Kaminsky on that hold there, but yeah, you go to camps and you get all these quarterbacks in a room and they're all doing the same drills, and you can kind of pick them out of a hat. Same time when it comes to film, you and I, with our phones, we can pull up film on our phone of anybody anytime we want. So there's plenty of people that can go look at the huddle right now of what they're seeing on this field, especially that guy, Gabe Kaminsky.
Technology has really taken over the recruiting world.
A lot of people looking at Kaminsky's film, I can tell you that. 15 offers so far. Penley had it in the breadbasket, right in and out.
Now, Nazareth being able to run the ball a little bit on that first couple of plays has opened up the passing game, and that's what they want to show is the balance between run and pass. But in order to have an effective passing game, you have to have a very effective running game. And Joliet Catholic is one of those teams that they're so well coached and well versed in the basic fundamentals that it's tough to get them fooled defensively.
I think it works in Montgomery too.
Yes, exactly.
That thought works. It'll work later today when we see them against Downers Grove North. A couple minutes in here in our second quarter. Malachuk rolling against. He's got hit as he was throwing. Penley with the catch, and it makes it a little more manageable on third down. But Malachuk stood in there and took that hit. The third down at the 41.
Perfect example of what kind of an athlete he is for a right-handed quarterback going to his left and be able to make that throw successfully down the field. And this is what you got to think about when you're a defensive person. He's a right-handed quarterback. Is he going to go more effectively to his right? Most people think yes, but when you have a good athlete, he can also do it going to his left.
Nazareth has yet to convert a third down. 0 for 3 thus far. It's Angelou gets out of there. And down the sidelines for the touchdown. It's Lesroy Tittle, rather. They put in Lesroy every now and then on the offensive side of the football, and it pays dividends for a big touchdown of 41 yards.
Well, that was a big play right there. He made some nice cuts to get out and bounce it to the outside, and this is exactly what they needed, obviously, to get back in the ball game and show a little confidence to this young football team.
Look at that cutback that he used to get just inside tackle and then bounce it to the outside. Lesroy Tittle, 9th touchdown of the year. He had a 52-yard touchdown run against St. Francis. He tacks on a 41-yarder, and the Roadrunners are on the board. They've got work to do, down 13-7 in the first half of our 5A title game.
Would you look at that? I'm in the classroom again. But this time, I can apply these skills to make some money. Lots of money.
Have a cough, sore throat, or fever, or need care now for pink eye, a urinary tract infection, or a rash? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Get care in person, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, even holidays, and walk out with a prescription for your care if needed. Make a reservation today or start a virtual visit 24/7. It's just that easy. Find a location near you. osfoncall.org/urgent care.
We got a ball game here at Normal and Hancock Stadium. Matt Rodewald, Jack McInerney, Casey Standahar with you as Nazareth punches it in, starting to balance that offense out a little bit.
And develop that confidence. We keep saying, it's a young team, which it is, but they were actually younger last year when they won the 5A state title. So, you got to kind of preface things. Well, are they inexperienced? Well, they're young, but they're not inexperienced.
Well, when you start 0-4, you're used to coming back and trying to be in that rally mode. And so for Nazareth, this is nothing new. 79 yards in that last drive. They had 64 yards in their first 3 drives total. So they finally got the engine going a little bit. And off we go. The kick end over end taken at the 20-yard line. This is Stringham. Big hit right there at the 30, and that is where JCA will start. We promise you, we're getting you all the starters. We're doing it right now, brought to you by OSF. And we'll get to you the Nazareth starters. Again, we had the old machine just decide to reset itself there. Luciano Cesario there. We mentioned Brandon Flanagan. He was the only captain that walked out for the coin toss for Nazareth. It was just unique to see. Usually got 4 or 5 guys right there. Gabe Kaminsky, he's all-world at everything, all-stater. Lesroy Tittle, you saw score the touchdown. Ethan Enriquez, a starter from last year. And then the secondary's experience as well. Eddie McLean is going to be the one on the calls. And Casey talked about the fact that for as much as Logan Malachuk loves watching film, Eddie McLean does so with so much enthusiasm that they have to kind of reel him in a little bit in terms of how much fun he's having.
Well, that's something you don't normally find with kids nowadays. They're on the chat and they're on Facebook and everything else.
No, they're not on Facebook. I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
You and I are on Facebook. They're on TikTok. And
I'm going to stop you right there. You're on Facebook. I'm not.
Yeah, that's probably correct, actually. 2nd down and 5. Social media is so hard to keep up with for everybody. Munoz gives Grigsby. And maybe about a yard or 2. Well, your point is correct. There are so many distractions nowadays, and there's so much technology to distract. If you get someone to sit down and watch film on a tablet as opposed to YouTube or what have you, you're making progress just by keeping their attention and involvement. And a guy like Ethan Enriquez, you see right there, is another guy who's just been involved in this defense and has continued to get better because of the attention to detail.
Well, it used to be that they had to be in a classroom watching it. And now they take their pads home, their tablets or whatever you call them. I'm still looking for the mouse in my house. So.
It's not a mouse. It's a touch screen.
Oh.
Grigsby up the gut, first down, and a lot more as he gets out to midfield. Enriquez on the stop. First time we've seen Sam Stack on the defensive side of the football as well. This Nazareth defense, again, 6 returning starters, but no one both ways full time. As you get deeper into the day, we will see less two-way guys on a regular basis. On situational situations, it's different.
Yeah, you want your best players on the field in certain situations.
High set. Grigsby again, right side this time, and slips inside one tackler. It was Eddie McLean that was able to secure him and bring him down. Garrett Reese on the help as well. 16th carry of the day. And he's knocking on the door of 200 yards. Just a little more than 195.
That's an amazing statistic this early. But part of that is he better be taking these kids out to dinner, because on these particular big plays for him, for example, Brady McEwen has been out in front of him on almost every single play at 280 pounds. And that name McEwen is a big name in Joliet Catholic football. It goes way back. There's been nephews and uncles and brothers playing for Joliet Catholic.
And around again, it's McGreeny getting close to the first down marker, and he will be shy by about a yard or two. I think midway through the second quarter, 3rd down and 2. That's 2-down territory right here.
Getting back to the McEwen name, they've had players there forever, and a dear friend of mine, Larry McEwen, played at the Joliet Catholic through Gordy Gillespie. He coached there, and then he moved on in his coaching career, played at Illinois, and went to Naperville North, and he was one of the most successful high school coaches in the top 10 for a long time, won a couple of state championships. And now what he's doing is, he was beating people in football before, now he's beating me in golf every week.
No one beats you in golf every week.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
It's the rule of averages. Grigsby gets to the first down marker, and where did they mark it? Right at the 43. That should be enough.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Will they look for a measurement? Clock continues to run. Actually, they've held it for a minute. I think they're going to... When you're talking this long... Now, you can ask for a measurement. But if you're Joliet Catholic, you're not going to. And so Tim Rackey across the way, not happy about that.
No.
See if they got the spot right. Well, it looks about a half yard short of where it was.
Well, it's hard to tell up here because we can't hear where the momentum and or the whistle stopped the play. And now you see all of these big pushes by the linemen afterwards, so we can't hear when the whistle blew initially.
Okay, look at the chains. They're actually on our side, the camera side of the field today. Grigsby inside the 40 down to the 36. And what this does is it chews up the clock.
And in our open, we talked about that, how Joliet Catholic wants to dominate the clock and field position, and you do that by the running game, which they're so effective at right now.
This is what we see now in today's football is you're doing that basketball 2-for-1, looking at the clock at the end of the first half. You can start it right about now as we hit the 4-minute mark. Joliet Catholic has the football. They will have it to start the second half. So with their offense, if they can run down enough time, they're going to have a chance to put 2 score drives together and keep that Nazareth offense off the field. Grigsby, look at that from Kaminsky, who came flying into the backfield for that stop. His 39th tackle for loss on the year.
Now that's an amazing read also, because he saw the pulling guard and he just got in his hip pocket. You'll see the guard pulling and Kaminsky comes flying in. That's just an outstanding play mechanically. And when you talk about defensive linemen and linebackers, you got to read your keys, which was part of what we talked about in the open. And if you do that and you have great discipline, you're going to make plays like that.
All-Stater, Lineman of the Year in the Catholic League, Orange Division. He's got 15 offers. Michigan, Notre Dame, Iowa, they all want him. This is 3rd down and 3. Munoz hit as he's thrown. Was it a pass? It is picked up. They're going to say it's incomplete. Munoz got enough forward momentum on that. And he got hit pretty good in that shoulder. That is a big defensive play. Nazareth looks like they're going to get off the field.
Brandon Flanagan came in from the backside on that play. And you'll see Flanagan coming from the top of your screen right here.
Came in free.
Yeah. And that was a perfect example of a right-handed quarterback trying to make the throw. And that's why the sack was there, because when he tried to stop and turn his shoulders, that slowed him up just enough for that defensive player to come in and make the play.
What that did was it stopped the clock, by the way. It's going to set up a timeout situation for Joliet Catholic to think about it.
If you're going to be sprinting out in either direction, right or left, you want to be going downhill as you're throwing the football, not actually fading away from the line of scrimmage. And he wasn't able to do that on that play.
Well, we said it at the outset. This is a day for blue blood Illinois football. Let's look at the schedule and just show you what we mean. We got Joliet Catholic, of course, right now, 15 state championships. East St. Louis, 10 state championships. You got Mount Carmel, 155 state championships, I presume, at this point. And then Loyola, they've continued to emerge. But Lincoln Way East, these two teams just simply don't like each other because they play so nasty and physical. You know, everyone should wear a helmet in the building for that one. But this is the day we have in front of us, and we look forward to it. Really looking forward to the East St. Louis Cary Grove game. What many consider from the 21 matchup at Northern Illinois, one of the greatest state championship games we've ever seen here in the state.
Well, and I had the pleasure to be able to call that game, and it was just one of the most incredible football games that you can imagine. It was a team with great speed and talent against a team that had just great poise and discipline. And unfortunately, penalties made a big difference in that ball game, but it was one of the best high school football games I've ever seen.
Some folks from Batavia just saw Mount Carmel on the screen and immediately had anxiety after what they saw last week. That offense continues to hum, as good an offense as we've seen across Illinois. So the chess match underway. Joliet Catholic had called a timeout. Now Nazareth calls a timeout. And you've seen Mount Carmel a couple times this year. What is it that makes this offense so good for them in the Caravan?
They've got a lot of explosive players, but it all starts with the quarterback. And he's only a junior, which, you know, is kind of interesting because there's a lot of great young quarterbacks in Illinois, and certainly up in the Chicagoland area. We're looking at one of them right now at Nazareth, but Jack Elliott from Mount Carmel is just outstanding. I mean, he throws the ball on the run. He runs the ball so effectively.
He really does.
You're going to see another quarterback just like that in Loyola. Jack Fitzgerald, is a big 6'2", 6'3" quarterback. He is, again, another very effective throwing the ball out of the pocket or sprinting out. That is a team that's real good. I mean, Lincoln Way East has a good quarterback, Tischer, I believe.
I think Tischer's outstanding.
Yeah, but he hasn't been getting the same publicity the other guys are getting. And very effective, and he's been a 2-year starter. So this whole day is going to be some great football with some outstanding quarterbacks.
So Munoz goes to shotgun for the first time today on 4th down and 3. Power I set. He'll fake the handoff, throw, ISO right side, looking for a receiver, and a penalty comes out. Garrett Reese never turned around on that one. And as they were looking for Drew Willis, and the penalty is going to open the door for a chance to move the chains.
Just a little face guarding there. We talk about how important it is for the defensive back to read the eyes of the receiver, because he'll tell you exactly when that ball's coming, and then his arms are going to be going up. And that's when you want to make your turn and put your arms up. And as you can see right here, he never does it. Now, there looks like a little action there by the receiver, kind of putting his hands on the defender. So could have went either way there, but Nazareth got the call.
At some point, you got to turn around.
Well, that's very true.
At some point, you just got to turn around as a DB in that play.
There was interference, no doubt about it, but depending on who it was.
And you also know you're probably ISO man-to-man on that side as well. So they go power I. They flip the formation this time. And they give to Grigsby. He goes up the middle. And maybe the 17-yard line. Stacking on that stop. And you see Flanagan get out of the pile. And Brandon Flanagan, the captain, he's a first-team all-conference selection as well.
Grigsby's been very impressive. He runs a lot harder than a 175-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed, and we can see that he's got the speed. There's no doubt about it. But what I like is the quickness in his feet. He's been able to jump start and move in different directions, and he follows his blocker so extremely well.
Adrian Washington splits out by himself to the left. He'll give back to Grigsby again as he cuts inside. And Enriquez drives him down to Flanagan. Clock continues to run. The penalty was big just from a time standpoint. Had Nazareth been able to get the ball, had 3 minutes to work with. And now Joliet Catholic trying to punch one in, maybe get some more points.
This is what slows the game down as far as the offense, when the quarterback comes all the way over to the sideline to get the call from the coach, and that clock is running, and you're losing a lot of free time right there.
You don't see it a whole lot anymore at the upper class levels, but man, that there are times when that quarterback has to be the most conditioned athlete on the field simply for that.
It's down to 3 seconds right now. He better get it snapped. They're going to have to call a timeout.
And the play clock runs down, and they call a timeout. This is a 7-minute drive, maybe a little more than that at this point. So 7:04 to be exact.
Perfect example of why that time is so effective with that quarterback coming to the sideline as opposed to getting signals, signals, or sending another player in with the play.
So for Joliet Catholic, trying to go for its second state championship in 3 years. They've won it 2018. This is the 2021 look. Of course, Jordan Anderson had quite the day on the ground. 300 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Here's one of them right here. And, boy, you talk about Joliet Catholic running. 468 yards on the ground against SHG in that one. And Sacred Heart Griffin just simply could not keep up in that state championship game. Those sophomores are now seniors, and so whether they play it or not, the experience of just being in that environment certainly made a difference for today, just as we've seen with Nazareth on the other side of the football.
Historically, Joliet Catholic runs the same offense that they ran with Gordy Gillespie in the 70s when they were a powerhouse in the state tournament. And it's just, it's so effective. A few little wrinkles here and there, maybe a couple different blocking schemes up front, but it's traditional at Joliet Catholic to run the football.
This is the 12th play of the drive. Grigsby gets the first down, gets inside the 8, gets inside the 5, and up to the goal line. They'll mark it at the 2. Did the ball come out? They say he was down. Big scramble. And
he's
is that Grigsby holding an ankle?
Yes.
Dealing with a high ankle, and that is major news for the Hilltoppers.
Now they've been running Grigsby most of the game. You haven't seen him very much running from Farnes, but if this injury is substantial, you're going to see that. Will actually replace Grigsby. He's been in the game, but he's been the other wing and not getting the ball as much. Now he'll just take over that position and he'll replace the wing as opposed to the running back, basically the running back position.
He's got 22 carries and 211 yards, and you see a lot of concern for a guy like him. He's got one offer. Minnesota State, the only one that we know of, has offered him a scholarship at the next level, but as he cuts back in, and again, you see these piles, and he turned awkwardly. The ball did come out. They said he was down, but that did come out. And either way, I think Joliet Catholic recovered that.
That's going to be a big loss when you have a running back that's produced over 200 yards in the first half of the game, and to lose him. And based on how he's moving there, I would suspect we're not going to see him in the second half.
Well, with a minute and change to go and the lead, it becomes that much more important that Joliet Catholic punch this in for 7, give themselves some cushion, get into halftime and figure things out with him.
Well, unless they fly him to Lourdes, I don't think we're going to be seeing him in the second half. But I think Keegan Farnes is a capable replacement, and I don't mean replacement from that standpoint. No. He's been in the game. He'll just move over to that position, and they'll replace Farnes at the wing, and Farnes will be at the running back.
Farnes had 217 yards himself in the quarterfinal win against Morrison. Touchdown runs of at least 25 yards all 3 times. He gets it on the handoff right to the goal line and stopped at the 1. They'll have to move a little quicker than they have been. This is 2nd down and goal. Back to Farnes. Right at the goal line. He walks in. Touchdown. Joliet Catholic punches it in. The 6-foot junior from 1 yard out. And for him, his 11th touchdown of the season. And a deep breath for Joliet Catholic as they get this to a 2-score advantage.
And now he'll be the highlight runner in the second half for Joliet Catholic. And the thing is, he's been productive all year long, so it's going to be a loss, don't get me wrong, but he's a very capable replacement at running back.
So Stringham sealed the outside there. McGreeny on the inside, opening that hole nicely. Durkin on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. And so with 41 seconds remaining, a back-breaking drive for the Nazareth defense. Joliet Catholic on 14 plays, 70 yards, and almost 8 minutes of clock chewed up as they seize control of this one by 2 scores.
And a big point of that is clock chewed up. And especially going to be very effective in the second half. If they're not going to see Grisby, they're going to have to really rely on eating that clock up and keeping that ball on the ground and keep it away from the very explosive Nazareth team.
You go back to that pass interference penalty on 4th down that really kept that drive alive, and it opened the door for 3 more minutes of clock to be taken off as a result, maybe 2.5 to be exact. But Joliet Catholic in position to be in control going into the break, trying to get state championship number 16. And for that guy, Jake Jaworski, the head coach of Joliet Catholic, who succeeded Dan Sharp back in 2017. He spent 11 years on the staff, mostly on offense in the early going, then switched over to defensive coordinator. You're talking about a guy who is a strong safety on the field. He understands all the weak points that he's looking at, and his offense continues to hum along. Here's McLean on the return from the 9-yard line. Back to the middle. Can he turn the corner? Now he'll go back to the middle. And he gets out to the 26. He may have run about 45 yards to get 12. Ends up at the 27-yard line. And that's where Nazareth will start. Not ideal when clock's running in the final minute to have a return like that.
Well, you don't want to run from a set of numbers all the way over to the other set of numbers
without positive yards.
Exactly. I mean, usually on kick returns, you want to get up the middle. That's the shortest distance to the goal line, is to get up the middle.
Even more important in the final minute, get positive yards so Logan Malachuk can go to work right over the middle. There's Penley through a couple of defenders. Can he pick up a block? He can, and he'll get to the outside and get out of bounds at 24. That is a monster play for the Nazareth Roadrunners to pick up 28 yards and to get into business here.
But the bigger part of that, too, Matt, is the fact that psychologically and mentally for Nazareth on a big play like that, coming back in the second half, even if they don't score here, they know that they can do what they just did as far as explosive plays.
I think they're going to correct this here, but they had started to wind the clock. Watch Penley as he gets to the corner. He stepped out of bounds on his own, which should keep the clock stopped. And Nazareth is saying the clock should be stopped because he was out of bounds.
Add a few seconds, which makes a big difference. That's at least a play.
So they do put 26 on the clock. Okay. So they fixed it. Off we go.
Big factor here, they're going to be the safeties.
Malachuk to Walker. Can he get out of bounds? He does. No, they say they wind the clock. Nazareth does not have any timeouts. They stopped the progress inbounds.
Well, the reason for that is contact was made and the progress was stopped and he was going backwards, and that's why the official kept winding the clock, is because he was in bounds initially when the whistle was blown.
To correct myself, Nazareth with 2 timeouts. It's Joliet Catholic that used all their timeouts on that last drive. So now that means that Nazareth has 1 timeout to go. A couple of funky plays in terms of clock management all the way around.
Well, again, without being too redundant, as I usually am, bringing that quarterback over to the sideline makes a big difference as far as when you really need to have that clock in your favor. That takes a lot of time. That's at least sometimes 1 play minimum that you're losing with that movement.
Jack, it's called self-awareness. We appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Takes a village for all of us. 3 receivers at the top. Angelou in the backfield with Malachuk. He'll pick up the blitz. Malachuk over the middle, caught. Slips to the outside. First down inside the 6. Jake Sestone with the big play to get them within the red zone. His 49th catch of the year. And with 9 seconds left, Nazareth with 1 timeout. And they'll use it here.
Good
37
protection.
yards on the pickups. Go ahead.
Good protection there, Matt, for him to get that ball off. Now, he's very comfortable sitting in the pocket. Granted, he's a good athlete and does well when he sprints out, but he's very comfortable and has great poise sitting in the pocket. You've got to have a lot of confidence in your offensive line to be able to do that.
Joliet Catholic's prevent defense struggling against that Nazareth attack here. You put that extra defender out there in the backfield. There have been holes all over the place, and with Nazareth having a complement of timeouts, they've been able to use the middle of the field.
Well, they know where the receivers know exactly where the holes are in the zone, and they kind of settle down in there. And it's a combination, too, of the quarterback knowing. They've got to be on the same page.
3 for 3 on this drive, 3 different receivers. Malachuk looking like this is a Tuesday afternoon practice where they run the 2-minute drill at the end of that practice. But now it's different at the 6-yard line. No timeouts. They cannot take a sack. Malachuk will throw to the end zone. He has a man, and he can't get there. And it was Sestone that was running that out route, that corner route. And you've got one more play. What do you do?
Well, part of this is now, remember, the defense actually has 12 defenders right now. Now, what I mean by 12 defenders, you got to count the back line because they can only go so deep. At this stage of where it's at, the field is actually wider than it is deeper. So this helps the defense.
If you go quick, you can get 2 plays in here. 3 receivers near side. Sestone, pressure coming. He throws it to the corner. It's Walker, and a flag comes out with 2 seconds left. That's going to be pass interference. But that changes the playbook a little bit here. Maybe just a little bit.
Now, they've brought the linebackers on both of these plays. They fired both linebackers.
Number 21, White.
It'll be half the distance, I believe.
This is a big play for Nazareth. I mean, this could be the state championship right here.
Now, they called holding. It wasn't a pass interference. I think you've got to at least take something here. And so they're going to take the points. This is going to be Drew Fowler.
And
from 20 yards out. Missed 1 field goal all year. And it's good. And so they'll take the 3 and go into the break. Down by 10, a score of 20-10. So they knocked on the door. They took a few shots at the end zone, but they made sure to play the safe bet, take the points.
Well, it was an exciting movement down the field by Nazareth, though. It's not one of those deals where you say, look, we're in for a long afternoon here. This is a good football game, 2 good football teams, and I think we're in for a lot of excitement in this second half based on what we've seen on this last drive by Nazareth.
Nazareth now with 128 yards passing and balancing it out with 76 yards rushing. That looks a little more like it, but they had to do it based here on this one drive here in the second half, the end of the second quarter. Meanwhile, the health of H.J. Grigsby is going to be key as he went out the final minute with an ankle injury that was severe enough where he was not able to walk off the field on his own power. We'll be interested to see what kind of adjustments they have to make to start the second half.
Well, it's one of those situations where you've got to use your depth, and they have depth with Joliet Catholic.
20-10 is our score, and Joliet Catholic was able to punch it in from the red zone. That was something that was big. Can you get in position to score? Can you finish it? They've done it so far. Let's go downstairs to Casey Standahar.
Coach, you're dominating time possession in the first half so far. How has that been effective for your offense?
That's kind of what we're trying to do, eat up the clock. It's kind of what we're built for, run the ball, let the clock run. and then punch the ball in the end zone.
We got to talk about Grigsby for a second. 223 rushing yards on 22 carries. Obviously feeling some pain in his right foot. Regardless if he returns or not, how much of a difference maker has he been?
I mean, he's been huge. All right, he's been huge all year. He's been our leading rusher, senior captain. You know, I know this game means the world to him, and he'll be all right in the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Darius, back to you in Chicago.
Thank you, Casey. A 20-10 lead here for Joliet Catholic against Nazareth Academy. And in your opinion, Tim, you think it's kind of played out how you expected?
Yeah, pretty much. Coach Jaws talked about time of possession. Joliet Catholic definitely has held on time of possession, getting some big chunk plays. But, man, you cannot count out this Nazareth offense. Not at all.
Very important drive for them to get that field goal at the end of the half to make it a 10-point game here at halftime. A lot of highlights to show you here for this game here. We got that coming up for you when we come back here at the halftime of this 20-10 lead for Joliet Catholic.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Prepare for the holidays with great Black Friday deals at Menards. We have the perfect gifts for your family and friends, or to help finish your projects, both big and small. Now's the perfect time to hurry in and get these amazing stocking stuffers and other fantastic gifts. Menards Black Friday deals are so great that even Santa himself can't resist.
4 seasons greetings to you all from Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
I'm attorney Howard Ankin. I'm proud to be a 1990 graduate at the University of Illinois. And today, I'm one of the largest filers of workers' compensation cases throughout the state. From Champaign to Chicago and everywhere in between, I'm helping people with auto accidents, work injuries, slip and fall cases, medical malpractice, and any other type of injury accident-related matter. Let me see what I can do for you. Call me at 312-6-MILLION. Injury law made personal? That's Ankin Law.
IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Welcome back to the IHSA TV network. Halftime here of our 5A championship, a 20-10 lead for Joliet Catholic against Nazareth Academy. I am Darius Joshua. He is Edgy Tim O'Halloran. We'll be taking you through this halftime here. Very important drive for Nazareth Academy. Didn't get the touchdown, but still got that field goal.
You got to come away with points. And look, this is a Nazareth Academy team that, I don't know, they were 4-5 at the end of the regular season and sat at home waiting, fingers crossed, that they could get into the playoffs. Look, this team can handle adversity. You got a quarterback that's already won a state title, a roster full of kids that are young yet experienced. They're going to be just fine. But, yeah, it's not ideal right now if you're Naz, but they have been able to figure it out and face this adversity multiple times already this year. So a lot of game left to play.
Yeah, we're 2-4 to start the season last year, won a state title, 0-4 to start the season this year, and once again playing in the state championship game again. Let's look at the highlights here for a half that was dominated by Joliet Catholic to start here. Right off the bat, A.J. Grigsby with a huge run on their first possession of the game. That is a big game for him to set up a big run for them. Again, Nate McGrenny does the same thing. He runs for 24 yards on the same drive. They picked up almost 60 yards on just those 2 carries. A.J. Grigsby then fumbles here on this possession here when they were trying to go up 14-0 late in the first quarter. Big stop by Gabe Gaminsky. Then here at Nazareth with the ball again, they get their first big run of the day. 41 yards for LeSroy Tittle. That puts them on the board 13-7 at that point midway through the second quarter. And then with 40 seconds to go, a big touchdown here for Joliet Catholic after an injury to H.A. Grisby. Keegan Farnes gets it into the end zone. That makes it 20-7 at that point. And as we mentioned, the Roadrunners get that field goal to make it 20-10 here. And Nazareth Academy will be starting with the ball in the second, or excuse me, Nazareth Academy won't be starting with the ball. So that was important for them to get some points as the Hilltoppers will start the second.
Yeah, you've got to, you had to come away with points there, and they were able to. Obviously not the touchdown, but the field goal definitely helps. And again, you need some stops offensively. If you're the Naz defense, you've got to find some stops here. We talked about H.J. Grigsby and his health. How is he? Is he going to be okay? Well, I see JCA and I see running backs putting up 200-plus yards and a half, and I think, there's been a few guys over the years that have had some success, and I think you might see him come back. Even if you don't, Keegan Farnes, as Coach Jack mentioned, very capable back. So again, I think that if you're JCA, you're not going to change a whole lot here. You don't really need to. It's worked so far. A little bit cleaner in the red zone, get things done. But again, it's hard to argue how they've played so far. They've played very well.
Yeah, we will see what Grisby can do. Already 22 carries, 223 yards in the first half. But as you mentioned, Farnes has 700 on the season entering this game. So for Nazareth Academy, what did you see on those last two drives? They get touchdowns and a field goal on those two drives. What do they need to do in the second half to continue that?
Kind of more medium to deep balls. They definitely seem like they found the middle of the zone there on the JCA defense. So I definitely think that's an area they're going to continue to hit.
A 20-10 lead for the Hilltoppers here at halftime over the Roadrunners here at halftime. A lot more to come here as we get ready for not only more from this game, but of course the rest of the day we have here at Hancock Stadium. A lot more to come here at halftime. Stick with us.
The IHSA Football State Championships are being brought to you in part by Ashley Furniture, America's #1 furniture and mattress retail brand. Northern Illinois University, where your future is our focus. Visit niu.edu. Get Covered Illinois. Your health coverage starts here. Open enrollment ends January 15th. And by Powering Chicago.
Feels good to be home.
Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $199. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Wait, stop scrolling. I'm here to help.
For what?
The ACA Health Insurance Marketplace open enrollment is here. You can find a health plan that works for you and your family, or change your current plan. Through GetCoveredIllinois.gov, certified local navigators like myself can help you enroll and find out if you qualify for financial help.
I really need to do that.
That's why I'm here. Don't change that profile pic. You look great. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Feels good to be home.
Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $199. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Life got you down.
Hey, Calvin, how's it going?
Great.
Perfect. I knew you'd be in a bad mood.
The neighborhood is here to help.
You're suffering from an acute case of situational maladaptive stress.
And a case of TMD.
TMD.
Too much Dave. We care about you.
I care so much.
And want to make your life funnier. With our friendly neighbors. Here is your handshake. Have a nice day.
The Neighborhood. Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on CW26.
Welcome back to our halftime show here on IHSA TV Network. 20-10 lead for Joliet Academy here in the 5A championship game. But, of course, 3 more games to come today on this second day of state football over at Hancock Stadium at Illinois State University. Along with Nazareth Academy, 3 more teams trying to go back-to-back with championships. East St. Louis and Cary Grove in the 6A championship. Mount Carmel, Downers Grove North in 7A. And then the day ends with Loyola Academy and Lincoln Way East. But in that 6A championship game, that's a rematch of 2021, 37-36 for Cary Grove in that game. And some have said one of the better games in state championship history.
I might have been that someone because it was a really good game. And I know how much you missed the option game already, so we're going to bring it back with Cary Grove because it's the in thing now with the kids, the option. So, you're going to see the triple option offense out of Cary Grove. East St. Louis, more of a pro style. Athletes galore again. Just an amazing matchup in that ball game in 6A.
Yeah, East St. Louis playing in their third straight championship game. Last year they beat Prairie Ridge, a team that plays similar to Cary Grove, 57-7 at that point. We'll see if that one is just as exciting as it was 2 seasons ago. But here, Joliet Catholic Academy, has a lead on Nazareth Academy, 20-10 here as Nate McGrenny gets into the end zone, helping his team lead at the half. We'll be right back.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Prepare for the holidays with great Black Friday deals at Menards. We have the perfect gifts for your family and friends, or to help finish your projects, both big and small. Now's the perfect time to hurry in and get these amazing stocking stuffers and other fantastic gifts. Menards Black Friday deals are so great that even Santa himself can't resist.
4 seasons greetings to you all from Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
The halftime stats are brought to you by Lyona. Start your career in construction today at LyonaCareers.org. Here are the stats here, Edgy Tim. I'm sure it's not a surprise what Tim Rackey's telling his team defensively at halftime.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And if you're Jake Jaworski, you drew this up exactly how you wanted it. Time of possession huge in JCA's factor.
A lot of rushing yards for the Hilltoppers. Nazareth Academy is hoping that plays like this can help set up their passing game. And Logan Malachuk here, Leslie Tittle breaking away a 41-yard score, their only touchdown of the half. 20-10 here at halftime. We'll see you for the second half coming up when we come back.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $1.99. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Attention people with or new to Medicare. Now is the right time to get more coverage with a Zing Health Medicare Advantage plan. Zing plans can help you live healthy and save money, even with a chronic condition. With amazing benefits, like $0 premiums and copays, $0 insulin medications, and a free continuous glucose monitor. Zing makes it easier to manage your blood sugar. Plus, get extras like dental, vision, hearing, and prescription coverage, free transportation, groceries, health care items, utility payments, and much more. Call 888-316-2593 to get your free all-in-one guide. Zing's friendly licensed agents can answer your questions, help you understand your options, and help you enroll over the phone. Call now.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $1.99. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Judge Judy rules at 4 and 5 on CW26.
So far, am I right?
Yes.
Am I arguing your case right?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you do it any better yourself?
No, ma'am.
The judge you don't want to cross.
You don't want to get on my bad side.
And she's never wrong.
I know that I'm right. I was wrong in 1946. Last time.
She's Judge Judy. Weekdays at 4 and 5 on CW26.
It'll be Joliet Catholic ball to start the second half of our Class 5A state championship game. Matt Rodewald, Jack McInerney, Casey Standahar. We'll see her in just a second. But this first half has been interesting because we've seen a little bit of all the dynamics, whether it's Nazareth's passing a game kind of getting going, and then Joliet rushing attack has really opened up some holes against that Nazareth defense.
It's been a very exciting first half, no doubt about it. We're going to come down to now what kind of an injury is going to make a difference in the second half. My feeling is Keegan Farnes is going to be able to fill in. Will he be able to fill in 200 yards that they'll be losing from Grisby? I don't know, but I think he'll be very effective.
What kind of adjustments does Tim Rackey have for that Joliet Catholic rushing attack? Let's find out as we check in with Casey Standahar.
Thanks, Matt. Coach, your team battle-tested for moments like this. Still in this one, what was the message at half?
Well, first of all, I knew it would take us a little while to catch up to their offense because you can't really rep that in practice the way they run it. So we caught up to that. We were in rhythm offensively. I really liked our rhythm when we got the ball, especially at the last possession of the first half. And special teams is solid. And you're right, we have been here before. I'm not concerned at all. Our kids are locked in and ready to execute.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Matt.
All right, Casey, thank you so much. And the key there, just getting off the field is going to be key for this on this first possession at the very least.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But what I like is the confidence that he has in his players and the confidence he has in the experience that they've had, not only last year, but just in the program in general.
Let's talk about why we're so key on this injury, just because of Grigsby's performance has been so good, and that offensive line has been opening holes everywhere today.
Well, when you have a running back that's as effective as he is, and we talked about that offensive line that's so big that creates shadows out in front of him, but you got to look at him. He's got great quickness and power, and it's going to be a big factor. Anytime you lose a back that generates 200 yards of offense in the first half, and then you lose him in the second half for a state championship game, it's going to be interesting to see how Keegan Farnes produces in the second half, and I think he'll do well.
6-foot junior will be kind of the feature back of this second half, as he had a 200-yard game against Morris and 3 touchdowns, but those 3 touchdowns, 25, 47, and 51 yards, and a 76-yard reception. So he can break the big play just as much as anybody else for this Joliet Catholic offense. We do see Grigsby out warming up, but he is noticeably hobbling as he's gone through stretching for this Joliet Catholic team trying to win state championship number 16. And so as they get set to start second half, we watch Nazareth go back. They found some soft spots. It's not going to be so much the same dime prevent defense that they're going to see, but maybe they found a few things in that last drive that might be able to stretch the field a little more and move quickly down the field.
Well, these coaches are really good, and they know now in the first half they've had the experience of seeing what kind of a defense that Joliet Catholic is going to show them in certain formations, and that's key. You see certain formations, then you can see what kind of coverages they're going to give you, and then that gives you an idea of what plays are going to probably work for you in the second half. And of course, there's so much depends on what they did at halftime. Did they make those kind of adjustments? And based on their success over the last several years, I'm sure they have.
Of course, Jack, one name we called a lot early on was Dylan Johnson, and we did not do that as we head towards the end of that second quarter. I'd say Nazareth's offensive line doing a good job of preventing pressure from getting to Malachuk, especially as they were pushing down the field. Some of the statistical notes for you is Joliet Catholic's run for about 257 yards. Again, with Malachuk, or rather with the Grigsby, 223 yards. Maybe 40 of the rest of the rushing attack comes from other players. So how will they get them involved and keep things balanced? Everything else pretty much even. 10 to 8 first downs, 30 to 24, pretty much the same amount of plays. That big turnover for Nazareth is looming even larger in sense of keeping them in this game. They were able to get that goal line stand and the tackle of the year at the moment for Jimmy Penley.
Well, when you go up against a running team, and Joliet Catholic had 4 possessions there, they ran 30 total plays to Nazareth's 24 plays, but 16 of those 30 were inside their red zone for Joliet Catholic, and they scored 3 out of the 4 times. They scored touchdowns, and the other one was a fumble in the red zone.
Preston Coleman on the return, and he'll get all the way to the corner, but can't quite turn it entirely, and picks up some positive yards. Junior will help the Hilltoppers start things off around the 35-yard line.
And this will be interesting to see if they run the same plays with Keegan Farnes that they ran with Grigsby in that first half. Now that's their offense, so I assume they're going to do that because it was effective. Nobody on the offensive line has been hurt or injured in that first play, so I think we're going to see the same plays.
Grigsby on the sideline, probably around the 30-yard line as he continues to walk and stay loose, but he is not on the field. Munoz under center as they go I set. Here's Farnes. Cuts in off tackle in about the 39-yard line. Can he keep the kind of explosive, decisive type running that we saw from Grigsby in that first half so that they can get, instead of 3 yards, it turns into a 6-yard gain? And that's the only difference right now.
Well, they'll take 5 or 6 yards because that way the clock is going. And we're watching Grigsby on the sideline. He's got more tape on that ankle. It almost looks like a walking cast. I don't suspect we're going to be seeing him very often or very soon anyway.
He is trying very hard. You can see the senior knows it's his last game at Joliet Catholic. He wants to get back on that field and just at least be comfortable. Munoz will throw.
Oh, he's open.
He's looking. He's got Washington in the middle of the field. It's underthrown, and it's knocked away at the last second. That was James Penley, Jimmy Penley with the stop. He has been a key member of this defense. Number 11 is, again, underthrown just a bit.
That was a factor right there. Had he delivered the ball sooner, that's a touchdown with 6 yards to spare as far as away from the defender. He spotted him late. I think he went to him as a second read. He went to the shorter read in the flat, and by the time he looked at the deeper read downfield, he was kind of out of his arm range.
Penley came right to him. Now 3rd down and 5. Here's McGreeny. Gets to the first down marker. Does he get to it? He got a little bit short. Boy, a friendly spot. They get to the 45-yard line. Now they mark it back about in between, out to the 44 technically.
Now that's the first time that I've seen here in this ball game that they've run the wing counter coming back. They didn't do that in the first half. They were a little more direct with Grigsby as far as pulling the guards, getting out of the front with their power plays. And normally in the wing T, and normally with Joliet Catholic, the wing-back reverse and the wing-back counters has been a big play. But that was the first time I've seen them run it today.
4th down and 1. The last 4th down they had, they botched that pitch. And it turned into the only turnover of the game. And a penalty comes in. They moved the football. You see where the football is? They moved it a half yard. That's an illegal snap or a false start.
Coach Racky brought that to the attention of the officials.
Dead ball.
He's
snapping
certainly out there helping them officiate.
On the offense, 5 yards.
Big play.
Elijah Watt got his big paw caught in the cookie jar trying to move it a half yard forward, and it's a 5-yard penalty that ends a chance. Watch it again. Look where the ball is. And look where he puts the ball.
Yeah, that movement could draw the defensive line offside, so that was a good call by Coach Racky.
High snap, but Durkin gets it away. A spiraling punt. Penley back there. He'll let it roll. And the way this offense has been going in the last possession of that first half, Nazareth is fine. Taking over, 1st and 10 from the 15. We got a late flag that came out. I'm wondering if a Nazareth player ran on the field thinking the play was dead and ready to start offense. It hadn't been blown dead yet.
We've had a couple of late flags in this ball game thus far.
You see Jake Jaworski wanting a first down of some sort.
These coaches have been very helpful to the officials in this
dead ball. Personal foul. Nazareth Academy.
We don't know what the personal foul was for. It'll be a half the distance, so it's only 7.5.
Now again, this is an area where Nazareth is not shy as far as throwing the football, and based on how they finished in that first half, they could get out of this area and get good field position in just one throw or two.
Back inside their 10, Malachuk slings it to the outside. Walker the catch out to the 15. And again, it wasn't like a 1st and 15, just 1st and 10. So all they lost was field position at the least.
Again, that shows you the quick release of the quarterback getting the ball out there, because that's got to be a real fast throw, because those defensive backs will be jumping that.
Trent Walker's got a couple of catches today. 2 receivers near side. They stack the receivers on the short side of the field, and they set up the block, but it didn't work. Right there for the stop. Connor O'Donnell blew that play up.
That was a good call by the defensive coaches, because what happened was the safety came back over the top. So when you come up like that, you better make sure that you got help over the top. Now, that's what happened. The safety came over, so if that receiver ran past him, the safety was going to pick him up.
A big third down here. Malachuk. Pressure coming. He'll escape, and he can run for it if he tries to dive in. Slips inside, gets a little more. Out to the 35 before a big hit. Drops him at the 36-yard line. Zach Beitler finishing the play. But that pressure flowed back, and he was able to climb the pocket, get 23 yards on that run.
Well, we mentioned before, he only usually runs the ball about 5 times in a ball game, but when one of them is like this, the pocket broke down, but you can see the kind of speed and athleticism he has running the football.
Deep ball over the middle to the right side. It's caught by Penley in the numbers. Down at the 24-yard line.
What a great catch right there.
About 40 yards on the pickup. They go inside to the 23, and they go tempo. Malachuk again. Right side, Walker caught, slips inside a tackler and gets to the 10-yard line. He was able to evade O'Donnell that time. And the passing attack for the Roadrunners is humming along.
Well, Malachuk is a equal opportunity quarterback. He makes sure that he spreads the wealth to the various receivers. And in the first half, I think there was about 5 or 6 receivers that were able to catch the football.
Trips to the near side. They got Walker isolated to the top. Malachuk will throw to Walker. Back of the end zone. One-handed catch, but he's out of bounds.
Now, that was a quick delivery, because he looked away and then came back on that throw. And again, this is the area where the width of the field is longer than the depth of the field.
Boy, how close was that?
It was close.
He had a hand on it. I think he was in bounds at the time, but couldn't get that foot down. Again, only 1 foot needed.
This will be a big stop here if Joliet Catholic can force them to just kick a field goal.
See one more time. And about a half yard out of bounds. Malachuk stops, scrambles, right side, end zone. It's short. He had Walker open, but threw it just a little bit short.
Backside pressure there almost hurt Joliet Catholic, because they were coming after him, but they were coming too flat down the line of scrimmage, and he almost broke it back behind that. And that's something you want to make sure the backside gets more depth to force him inside and not let him get to the outside. You can see right here where he was able to bounce it outside. You've got to contain, and not come too far flat down the line of scrimmage.
You wonder if Malachuk could have run it to the corner.
Well, it's a possibility.
He has enough speed to get there. The 8th play of the drive here from the 10-yard line. This is 3rd down and goal. Blitz coming. Malachuk, quick throw. It's dropped. Sestone couldn't hang on. He tried to run the slant route. Pressure was right in his back pocket.
They're going to kick it.
They're going to have to kick a field goal, as they'll take the 3 here. And we'll see Drew Fowler once again. Drew Fowler's been busy coming into this. 3 for 4 on the field goal aspect of things. It's his 2nd field goal chance of the day, as they'll set up from 29 yards. Cologne the hold. It's low, a line drive, and it is no good.
Big stop there by Joliet Catholic.
So Nazareth leaves points on the board after another successful long drive. Slinging it down the field, but coming up empty. Nazareth with a field goal chance. They can't come through. Timeout.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Hiring Chicago's IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors of Chicago and Cook County are the choice for your renewable energy needs. All of our professionals undergo extensive training, emphasizing the latest EV, energy storage, and solar solutions, which sets us apart from any competition. Take the uncertainty out of your transition to renewables and let Powering Chicago deliver the next generation of clean energy to you.
Back here in Normal at Hancock Stadium on a brisk and cool November Saturday, the last day of the football season. It's Joliet Catholic with a 20-10 lead here as we are midway through our third quarter. We watched this play earlier, Jack, and we're calling it the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors. That was a touchdown-saving tackle, followed by this, a stop, another stop, and another stop, and it ultimately turned into a 4th and goal, where we saw this pitch dropped, and the only turnover of the game. Of course, Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families. And so that is why Nazareth is still in this thing, and they leave 3 points on the board on the missed field goal, and look who's back on the field. H.J. Grigsby with the ankle sprain. We'll see how effective he is. He gets the carry. They go right to work with him, and he gets positive yardage. He was not in on the first series as he was trying to get it loose.
He's walking okay. I mean, before I was dismissed from medical school, I was able to see things like that, and I think that he looks pretty good, which really surprised me. But his ankle is taped up so dramatically.
This is one of those situations too. Just him being on the field makes a difference to at least allow yourself to balance some things out a little more.
Good point, and psychologically for his teammates.
Yep. So he sets up in the eye. He'll take the handoff and cut back to the inside. A little bit of explosiveness, but they test that ankle immediately.
He might get a face mask call here, man.
And that looked like it was in the neighborhood of face mask.
Or he created the face mask.
He is not healthy. You can see that. But this is a senior knowing it's the end of the road for him. And, I would say from an injury standpoint, it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Yep.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty.
See, I thought when he gave that straight arm that he was the one that created the face mask call.
I'll give Nazareth the penalty, 15 yards, but the injury happened a minute to go in the first half. They get the entire halftime to get that thing taped up and worked on a little bit. You lose one series. That's all he was out for of actual football action. Now he's back on the field. A 7-yard deep in terms of the eye setup. Grigsby bouncing to the outside, pushing through, going through a big hole inside the 30-yard line and powering through everything from injury and tacklers and setting up Joliet Catholic on another scoring opportunity.
What a great effort on his part. Now, he's one of those players that he shouldn't be out there playing probably, but he's giving you a great effort. And he's probably in pain, but you can see he's able to cut pretty good.
Just enough.
Just enough. Now, he might, if there were a dance tonight, I would probably guarantee that he probably wouldn't be able to dance there. He'd stand around, but he's playing in this game. I mean, that's what he wants to do.
Look at him hobble off, and you can hear the ovation from the Joliet Catholic fans that understand what's going on in terms of his injury. And so now it's going to be Farnes. And the ball comes out.
Ooh.
That came out late. And who recovered it?
He was down when he lost it, I think.
I think it was a little closer than first looked at. But they say he was down at the 30. Just a loss of 1. Let's watch it again. Maybe you're right.
I think he was down because good call there.
Yep.
Now what they're getting here is, and this is something that an adjustment they made at halftime, Nazareth defensively. When those guys pull, we're getting a lot of penetration for the linebackers. They're just flying up inside to stop that pulling guard from getting any depth down the field.
Well, they haven't been a threat to throw as wide. Counter this time. Here's McGreeny. He gets about 4 yards back. Not that they haven't been a threat to throw, more so that they haven't shown an interest in throwing.
Grigsby's coming back in.
So, and that's what we're going to see with Grigsby kind of off and on, back in a rotation with McGreeny. He comes out.
Don't be surprised if you see Munoz throw the football, because they've been running. And you're going to get Nazareth starting to creep up to help to stop the run. And play action could result in a big play.
Just 8 passing yards, 1 for 3 in the air today for Munoz. He's got 2 receivers near side as they spread things out. It's Adrian Washington to the top. He will throw to the right side quickly. Bubble screen, blown up. Reese right there for the stop, and that doesn't work.
Well, we were right on the fact that he's going to throw the football.
And this is... Now, we talked about field goal kicking after Nazareth misses on the other end.
Joliet
Catholic, Durkin is as long as 43, but we saw him comfortably hit a couple of times. And I don't think you want to give Nazareth the ball back. The clock is more your friend at this point.
No doubt about it. And Grisby's still in the ball game, so I don't think they're going to kick it. There's no wind to be helping at all. The flag is just dead on the pole.
This would be a 44-yarder at this spot. Play clock running down. Munoz gets it off. Shotgun and spread set, and it's short. Is it a catch? It is a catch.
Wow.
And it's a first down.
By a yard, Matt, by a yard.
Drew Wills with a catch, a diving catch. And watch it one more time.
And they just barely got this off. What a great effort right there. And the officials right on the spot.
Boy.
Good job right there.
I'm not sure he had all of that. And the Nazareth fans are watching what we just showed you, and they don't agree with that call either. Fresh set of downs from the 18-yard line. Here's Grigsby, stuffed in the backfield and stopped. He doesn't have the ability to get away from Kaminsky right now.
And they're starting to play that power play a little differently than they did in the first half, as I mentioned before. They're filling a little quicker.
Watch this 4th down conversion again. And again, this is hard to do in real time.
That's a heck of a catch.
Boy, that's a catch. I'm sorry. That's a great catch and a great call. That's outstanding. I know he's out of bounds, but he got the hand underneath it to do it. And
what the heck was that?
Well, the ball rolled away from Watt again.
They better not go on that one. Breck, he's out on the field again.
He's wanting another penalty. You can see him at the numbers. That's head coach Tim Recchi.
Now, if that ball moved without his help, it's like some of my putts that roll.
Flag came out.
There is, yeah.
On the offense.
They call snap infraction.
And see, that adjustment has to be made when they come off on the sideline, Matt, for the offensive line coach to talk to that center. They're calling that, so you're not going to be able to do that.
Every center every high school varsity starting center across the state of Illinois is watching this and laughing. They understand exactly what's going on.
Look at the pros. I mean, they move that ball around so much, and so do the college centers.
Well, I think that was just a bad snap more than anything else. Munoz will give to Grigsby. A couple yards, spins out of one tackle. And Fauski sends him straight down right at the 19-yard line.
I don't know if I've ever seen that call, and twice in one game.
Twice in a game.
First time is one thing.
You just never know, right?
That's
at the state championship level, you just never know.
Yeah, something as fundamental as the snap or the movement by the center. And I'm watching him right now. He hasn't moved that ball at all.
After that missed field goal, this is the 10th play of the drive. Munoz will throw this time on 3rd down. Over the middle. Has a receiver, but it's intercepted. It's Kaminsky with the pick. Going to the other side of the field. And he'll be shoved out of bounds. A late flag comes in on a late hit. Tack on 15 more. And so from the 9-yard line, Nazareth is going to have it all the way on the other side of at least the 45 for Joliet Catholic.
Well, is there a momentum shift here? And this is what you don't want to do with Nazareth, because they can gobble up big yardage. You don't want to give them extra field position and yardage. Make them earn it. And that by a penalty like that, they're not earning it.
And so we're waiting for the official announcement on this. You see, there's been several discussions. And are they waving off the penalty?
Coach Rackey's not real happy about it.
I think he's more confused than anything else. He's still pleading his case on something.
Great things come to twos. That's why
I would consider that.
I think they're going to wave this off. Let's watch. So we wait for the officials to finish their discussion. Again, that interception return spotted at the 46-yard line. This would move it all the way to the 47, I should say. It would move it to the other side of the 39. It's been a long discussion to figure out what's going on here.
2 fouls. First, we got a personal dead ball, personal foul against Joliet Academy. And then we got a unsportsmanlike penalty on Nazareth Academy.
So it's offsetting. And so that's why now you understand the losing of 15 yards in the penalty because of its offset in nature. 38 yards on the interception return from Kaminsky. And so everyone will regroup, including him. Tim Rackey trying to do the impossible. 5 losses and a state champion. It's never been done. They have work to do. Nazareth with the ball when we come back.
When you plant Whiffles hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Whiffles.
Every day, Union Concrete contractors are fueling a foundation that lets our city stand tall. They bring the tools, training, and know-how required to bring your commercial projects in on time and with the highest levels of safety. Visit concreteil.com today to browse Northern Illinois' top union contractors specializing in commercial concrete and find the contractors you need to get your job done right.
Every year, you have a choice. One that says staying independent and family-owned means something on your farm. So plant your independence. Plant Whiffles.
Nazareth will take over following the interception and trail 20-10 here. Let's watch this again. Munoz, he took a shot.
This is one heck of a shot right here.
And the problem that is that's leading with a helmet. And Nolan Daly, the 6'3 junior, got a good pop in there. And it was after the throw by a lot. You see Kaminsky on the run back. Let's watch it again. I'll show you another time, but there was a lot of conversation. There was a late hit out of bounds, and then there's something else happened. And you always get nervous when you see stuff happening at someone else's bench. They got it all sorted out, but it's not where Nazareth would like it, but they'll take it at midfield from their own 47. Here's Malachuk. He'll go back to work and throw. It's McLean on the screen. He escapes one tackler, and he gets it on the other side of the 50 to the 45-yard line.
Good call there because Nazareth figured Joliet Catholic is going to really be coming hard. And so in order to slow down that defensive pass rush, you want to run screens and draws. And that makes them hesitate a little bit because Joliet Catholic's been sending the linebackers quite often.
There's 4 receivers technically to the left side. Here's McLean as the up back. They give it to Penley. Penley tries to escape one blocker and does. Gets to the outside. Penley was spaced down that sideline and knocked out at around the 15-yard line. And they'll mark it to the 17. Those flare-outs, you got to be careful when you start blocking. Nazareth kind of had a little bit of a head start when they were blocking on that play.
And you got to give credit to those other wide receivers for sustaining their blocks to allow that play to become a big play.
They go quick, fade to the end zone, and Walker can't get to it. Just a little out of his range. And that'll bring up second down.
Now, throwing the ball from here is much different than throwing that fade into the corner from the 5 or 10 yard line. when you throw it here, it's a better read and an easier movement for the receiver than it is when you're doing that same cut from the 5-yard line.
Here's another problem with the fade right now. Look at the shadows. Those receivers are looking right back into the sun as the sun is poked through here, and that is hard to find. Malachuk over the middle and nearly intercepted. That was the same thing we saw on the other end, and Zach Beitler nearly had himself a long run back.
And that's what the safety's supposed to do. He's supposed to break on the ball, and that's exactly what it did. You can see him at the top of your screen, breaks right on the ball. Good defensive play right there by Zach Better.
Malachuk never saw him because the back judge was right in his way and could not see him hiding behind him. And that brings up 3rd down here.
And these safeties have their hands full because we got 2 wide receivers on either side of the ball.
They need to get to the 7. It's a catch, and it's right at the sticks. And so for Walker, he'll get the 1st down. 7th catch of the day for Trenton Walker. Let's say about 43 yards receiving for him. 1st and goal now from the 6 for Nazareth.
Now in their big game against Prairie Ridge, the passing has been spread out. Walker had 7 catches and Penley had 7 catches. So they move the ball around.
Well, Malachuk does a nice job of getting everyone involved. It's Tittle, the up back now with Malachuk. Throw to the right side. Penley hadn't turned yet. And incomplete. Clearly a timing route.
Well, it's also a pick route because one of them is coming inside to take away the coverage there. And sometimes that'll be called if the officials are watching it because they know down in the short side of the field here in the red zone that's a real popular play. You could see him come in for the defender to try and knock him off.
Wonder if Fauski ran the wrong route just because if he comes in cleaner and sooner, he's able to
part of that
open that up.
Defensive back playing him tight to the inside. Don't want to force the ball inside. You want to force him to throw it outside.
They give it to Tittle inside the 5, barrel into the goal line, and he'll get down to about the 2. Did the ball come out? It might have. It did not. They mark it down at the 3.
A lot of these defensive alignments for the defensive backs has a lot to do with technique. Down here, you want to force the ball to be thrown further out, so you take away his inside slant area and force him to throw the ball to the outside shoulder.
Tittle a little indecisive on that run, but trying to bust through a couple of guys. No, ball never came out at all. The reaction kind of told you differently. So 2 receivers at the top, Tittle to the right side. Throw over the middle, touchdown. Jimmy Penley with the score. And Nazareth within a touchdown of getting back in this thing. The Roadrunners are right here.
Now that play was very similar to the last one that they tried to run the crossing pick routes, but what they did there, they did just the opposite. They didn't run it that way. They ran it to the outside, and that's why the inside slant man was wide open. I think the defensive back was anticipating that he was going to go out, and they ran it in. Good play call, good delivery, and a good extra point.
Extra point is good, and for Jimmy Penley, his 6th reception for 205 yards. He's had a lot of yards, maybe not that high, probably closer to about 115 yards at this point, 114 to be exact. And so for him, he's over 1,000 yards receiving on the year and a touchdown to get it within 3. You think of the missed field goal now being huge for Nazareth. You think of the goal line stand being huge to keep them in this game. And so sometimes the breaks will bounce away from you, bounce for you here. And here we are for both of these teams with a wounded duck running back there for Joliet Catholic and H.J. Grigsby.
Well, the other part of that, Matt, is when it's early in the game in the first quarter and some of these mistakes happen, you don't think much about it. But now as we get later into the ball game, they start playing a bigger role. And you're saying, well, now look at that extra point miss or that field goal or this goal line stand. Didn't seem like a lot in the first quarter, but it seems like an awful lot in the fourth quarter.
You see Grigsby. You see him resetting the gloves, and that tells you what? He'll come back out on this field. So Nazareth will kick it. This will be David Brunke doing the kickoff duties. A good kick, end over end. They go towards the corner, and it's going to roll out of bounds, though, at the 8-yard line. So that's going to be key field position. So at the 7-yard line, that'll move it up. Nazareth has this tendency to play these close games and work themselves some magic to get to the state finals. And then when you get to the state finals, you have a tight game as well. Remember this last year? I think you and I were exhausted just after this game with Nazareth and Peoria. Back and forth we go. There's Eddie McLean as a freshman catching the first touchdown of the day. And Malachuk running all over the field, finding his way with his wheels to the end zone.
As a sophomore.
As a sophomore. This Peoria team would come back. They would answer. And, of course, this was down to the wire the whole way with Nazareth coming back. And they were a 4-loss team winning a state championship. Only, of course, for them, they want to be the first team with 5 losses to try and win a state championship. But they need a defensive stop to get the ball back. Grigsby on first down, tackled from behind. And it was Nolan Daly that had the stop.
Now, in the first half, he would not have been tackled from behind.
No.
Because he had 2 good ankles.
He's a different running back.
He's a different running back, and there gave you an idea how the backside was able to close down because he wasn't able to hit that hole as quickly as he did in the first half.
He is over 200 yards for the day. He had 223 yards at halftime. And right now he's at 263. So really 40 yards only in that third quarter. And it's just had a different feeling. They're going to have to grind it out. We get to the end of the third quarter. Joliet Catholic with the ball, trying to hold on. This is going to be a fantastic finish here in Normal. Stay with us.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $199. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Hiring Chicago's IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors of Chicago and Cook County are the choice for your renewable energy needs. All of our professionals undergo extensive training, emphasizing the latest EV, energy storage, and solar solutions, which sets us apart from any competition. Take the uncertainty out of your transition to renewables and let Powering Chicago deliver the next generation of clean energy to you.
Wait, stop scrolling. I'm here to help.
For what?
The ACA Health Insurance Marketplace open enrollment is here. You can find a health plan that works for you and your family, or change your current plan through GetCoveredIllinois.gov. Certified local navigators like myself can help you enroll and find out if you qualify for financial help.
I really need to do that.
That's why I'm here. Don't change that profile pic. You look great. Open enrollment ends January 15th.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday sale continues this weekend. Friday through Monday, shop limited time doorbusters starting at $199. Plus, get 25% off store-wide on qualifying purchases. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Well, this season marks the end of an incredible run for a Joliet Catholic football family. Assistant coach Scott Kinsella has 6 sons that all played football for Joliet Catholic. Their oldest son, Scott, won 2 state titles in 78 and 79. Then Chris was an all-state O-lineman who played in the 96 state championship. Their third son, Justin, also played in the 99 state championship. They won that year. Then Nick won state titles in 2000, 2001. Jake made it to the quarterfinals in 2015. And how about this? Logan is a backup lineman on this team, the 6th boy in the family. He's also an IHSA bass fishing champion. So Jack, you're the math guy. I believe that's 6 state titles. Logan could bring the family a 7th today if the Hilltoppers could hang on.
Well, you're going to pass that math class.
There you go. Is that an elective class, or is that...
If I'm teaching it, it is.
Okay. I know we're all focused on STEM education now. That's just kind of how it is. I want to see you coach a bass fishing team. Let's get that figured out. How can we get you in front of some anglers to figure out how to do it the right way?
My whole life I've been an angler, and it wasn't fishing.
Angling for the front of the line at the buffet?
That's right.
That's about right, yep. High formation, first down, a fresh set for Joliet Catholic as we are in our opening minute of the fourth quarter. And Grigsby stopped. He's looking for holes, and the holes that we saw open in the first half are not open now. Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, he tried to bounce that outside, and with that bum ankle, he doesn't have the speed right now. He needs to keep running it inside like he did in that first quarter, especially with that bad ankle, because right now they can outrun him. I mean, he's right now probably playing at 3 quarters.
I was going to say 70 or 80%.
Yeah. So he's got to keep running it straight at him. Don't try and bounce it outside that much.
And it's all adrenaline. He's going to feel all that tomorrow. Adrian Washington splits out to the right side as they stay in their tight, wide set. They will throw this time. Washington open. Beat a receiver or beat a defender. And it's just out of the range as he had Penley on him trailing as he was looking back into the sun. And incomplete on second down. That brings up third down and 11.
Good call from the standpoint of they want to make sure those defensive backs aren't creeping up and turning that offensive line area they have within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, have 9 defensive people. Pretty good throw here. Almost got it.
Just a corner wheel route combination, and they've struggled on third down this half. And that's where they are now with third down and 11 as Munoz runs back into the huddle to deliver the play call. And with all this, the play clock running down, and they're going to get delay a game out of this. Again, with Washington sprinting 45 yards down the field, then having to come all the way back and then coming across with... And Jake Jaworski is wondering if the play clock shouldn't have been at 40 as opposed to 25.
Well, the other part of this is, at this stage, you lost 5 yards. I mean, they were in a position that they're not used to when they're looking at 3rd and 12, as opposed to use a timeout there and not be able to have one later in this quarter when you might really need it. So that was not a bad call by not wasting a timeout.
For years, Tim Rackey said he used to be a heavy blitzing guy, and his assistants have kind of slowed him down and reeled him back in. But he's curious to see if Keith Lukes dials something up here.
Well, look at the depth, Matt, of the linebackers. That's in many cases how you can tell if they're coming or not.
And we have movement. We're going the wrong way if you're a Joliet Catholic fan.
Dead ball. Ball start. On the offense.
And the problem here is if Joliet Catholic doesn't get this first down, and they're not going to do anything crazy here, it might be a screen or a draw, and they end up punting the ball no matter how far they are back here. Nazareth's going to get good field position out of this.
It's going to set up 3rd and a country mile. What do you have in your playbook on 3rd and 21 for a run-heavy offense?
And I'm going to make sure I run a screen or a draw because I don't want to have any kind of a turnover and interception down here and give them even better field position.
Let's watch Washington and Farnes, and they split out wide, twins each side. They look to throw. Munoz, a little screen, and blown up right away. That was Nolan Daly who read that the whole way and made sure that Larry Stringham wasn't able to get his hands on it. And they'll punt, and that stops the clock. That drive did not take very long at all for Joliet Catholic. Nazareth likely to get the ball back in plenty of time to do something here in this fourth quarter as Grigsby comes off.
Well, when you compare the two offenses at the end, Nazareth can eat up more yardage with their explosive offense as opposed to Joliet Catholic.
Here's Fauski from the 40. He'll fair catch it. And that is where Nazareth will take over. Down by 3. It's been Joliet Catholic leading the entire way. Nazareth has the ball coming back.
Prepare for the holidays with great Black Friday deals at Menards. We have the perfect gifts for your family and friends, or to help finish your projects, both big and small. Now's the perfect time to hurry in and get these amazing stocking stuffers and other fantastic gifts. Menards Black Friday deals are so great that even Santa himself can't resist.
4 seasons greetings to you all from Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home.
isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
It's a good appetizer for a schedule of Blue Bud entrees today, so to speak. Look at all those names that you're familiar with. East St. Louis, Cary Grove, Mount Carmel, Lincoln Way East, Loyal Academy. How about Downers Grove North getting here for the first time in 20 years?
You know, we talked about Downers Grove North as far as quarterbacks. They've got a sophomore quarterback that's real good. So that whole board right there, we're talking about outstanding quarterbacks, which always means exciting football.
Malachuk back to live action on first down. He'll keep it and get out to about the 45-yard line. And so if you're doing the math on that, we're 10 minutes left in our fourth quarter. We're scheduled to start at 1, maybe a couple of minutes after that. So you have a chance to, run and get that second turkey sandwich from Thanksgiving.
That's assuming you have any left over.
Well, at this point, this is kind of the demarcation line of leftovers, right? You don't go to Sunday. Saturday is really testing the waters on that. Second down and 6. Malachuk, quick throw to the outside. It's Walker who shoves the tackler aside for a moment, ends up out of bounds. As Connor O'Donnell and him have been battling the whole time.
When I was a bachelor, that Thanksgiving turkey lasted me till the next festivity, which was Christmas.
That's right.
I was still making sandwiches from Thanksgiving all the way up to Christmas.
That's why everyone's immune system's in good shape, right?
Oh, yeah.
Big third down here. 3rd and 1. They got to get to midfield. And Penley does. Nearly bobbled it and dropped it. Gets around a tackler, and he's loose. Penley down the sideline. James Penley breaks one tackler, and he'll get all the way to the goal line for the touchdown. One incredible individual effort from Penley for the score. 50 yards.
And the great part of that was before the throw was ever made, when Malachuk read the fact that they were stunning and ran through the ball right in that dead zone.
Fourth quarter touchdown brought to you by Delta Dental. Find a dental plan that fits you at deltadentalil.com.
Yeah, that was Malachuk read that blitz and was able to throw the ball right where that linebacker came from.
Dollar extra point, no problem. It is good, and we have a new leader here in our 5A title game. Jimmy Penley with his second touchdown of the day, and this was all him. This was nearly a disaster at the start.
Saw the linebacker right there coming. Where does he deliver the football? From where the linebacker came from.
Open field tackling is extremely hard, and here's why. Penley is as good as they come in the open field. 5'10", 170 pounds. He's just a junior. He's crossed the 1,000-yard mark in receiving. And Nazareth has climbed all the way back to take the 24-20 lead. 17 unanswered.
Everybody was talking about how does a team that starts out 0-4. Well, last year they started out 2-4. And they got to the state championship game and won it. But the 4 teams that they lost to in the beginning of this year, Kankakee, who got to the quarterfinals and ended up 11-1. Elmhurst York, who lost to Loyola in the semis and finished up 11-2. Montini, who lost in the semis and lost to Byron in the last second. And IC Catholic, who they lost to in overtime, who ended up 9-3. So that schedule was just amazing for them to play and lose those 4 games. And here they sit in the state championship game.
You always want to test yourself, but do you want to test yourself that much? Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do to put together a schedule from the 6-yard line. Up the right side, big run back. It's Preston Coleman out towards midfield. And so Joliet Catholic will start things off in good field position. The only thing we have to compare to is the 4 lost teams, Nazareth being a year ago. And when you think of the 4 lost teams that got to the state finals, listen to see if you recognize any sort of comparison. Providence, Loyola, JCA, Marist, Staunton, Montini, IC, and Lombard North. There's a lot of Catholic teams mixed in there.
There's only 2 public league teams. All the rest were from the Catholic League and Suburban Catholic. That tells you something about the competition that they play year in and year out and game to game and week to week.
And they just beat each other up, too, in weeks 1 through 5. And so, first play from scrimmage after that.
First down is going to be, Max, excuse me, first down is going to be crucial here for Joliet Catholic. The way they run the ball, they've got to get 4 yards on first down. It'll be crucial to their drive here.
Munoz will start things off. It's Grigsby. Right side, cuts back in, but not getting nearly the same juice on the first down carries that he was getting in the first half. Again, 220 yards of rushing for him in the first half before he went down with that ankle sprain in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Missed a series to start the second half. He's clearly at about 70 to 80%, and it's changed the complexion of this game for Joliet Catholic quite a bit. And one receiver to the outside. It's going to be Grigsby left side this time. And down to the 47. And Nazareth's defense is keyed on run first and second down. That's his 32nd carry of the day, but it still sets up a longer third down than they'd like.
No doubt about it. And part of it is the adjustment that was made at halftime by Nazareth. And part of that adjustment was this. When when Joliet Catholic blocks down and then they pull a lineman, and that's when Grigsby gets in behind. And what they're doing now, the adjustment that Nazareth made is the moment they read that key of them blocking down, the linebacker comes and fills that gap and finds out where that guard is pulling. And they've been able to stop, for the most part, that power play that was so effective in the first half.
Joliet Catholic has not completed a third down in this half, and they won't do it here with Grigsby getting stuffed at the 45-yard line. Now 0 for 5 on third down since halftime.
Now this is kind of an area where it's a decision as far as what you're going to do based on your particular offense. And he's really hurt now.
He's got to come out, and it's going to be fourth down anyway, but he's struggling to get back to, say, 50% healthy at this point. In fact, the teammate of his, Larry Stringham, was saying, hey, come on out and help him out. They're going to have to work on him a little bit more. So the punt, down by 4, and Nazareth will let that one bounce into the end zone. Penley will get another break there, and so Nazareth with a 4-point lead and 8 minutes and change to go. They can take serious control of this one. Timeout from Normal on a Sunsplash Saturday, the final day of the IHSA football season.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-800-335-8215.
Have a cough, sore throat, or fever, or need care now for pink eye, a urinary tract infection, or a rash? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Get care in person, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, even holidays, and walk out with a prescription for your care if needed. Make a reservation today or start a virtual visit 24/7. It's just that easy. Find a location near you. osfoncall.org/urgent care.
The IHSA Football State Championships are being brought to you in part by LiUNA. Start your career in construction today at liunacareers.org.
Welcome back to Hancock Stadium here on the campus of Illinois State University. Matt Rodewald, Jack McInerney, and Casey Standahar with you. Nazareth just took the lead on this play by Jimmy Penley for 50 yards, and it's our Menards play of the game. Save big money on all your home improvement needs with Menards. Breaking through tackles and roaring away as there was nothing that Zach Beitler could do. He tried, missed that tackle, comes back, keeps pursuing it, and ultimately, Penley had more than enough to get into the end zone for that 50-yard touchdown. That's great individual effort.
Well, a little difference here between the first half and the second half when it comes to Joliet Catholic. First half, they had 4 possessions, all in the red zone. This time, what they've done, they've punted, had an interception, and 2 more punts, so they have definitely been very ineffective in the second half.
Yeah, efficiency problems have mounted, and you basically circled the play where Grigsby got hurt, and it's changed since. Malachuk back to work. He'll throw. He's got a man. It's Sestone. Open field. Down the sideline. On the numbers. Can he get to the end zone? He'll be stopped at the 3. Ty Sesta chasing him down for the stop. 79 yards. And Nazareth is thrown for more than 300 yards, closing in on 400 yards. You think of their first couple of drives, they couldn't get anything going.
Well, here's the athleticism. He's a right-handed quarterback, throws to his left, and puts the ball right on the money. He never even had to slow down, caught him in full stride. Just a great throw right there.
Several receivers closing in on the 100-yard mark if they haven't crossed it themselves. First down and goal. Nazareth knocking on the door. Tittle in the backfield. 3 receivers to the top. He'll throw to the right. Open. Touchdown. Trenton Walker. 4-yard strike. His 8th touchdown of the year. And the sophomore gives Nazareth a 2-score lead.
And that didn't take long. As we mentioned in the open, a very explosive team, and they've got a lot of people that they can throw the football to that can make a big play, and we're seeing it here in the second half.
Fourth quarter touchdown brought to you by Delta Dental. Find a dental plan that fits you at deltadentalil.com. Easy slant route, hard to defend, extra point up, it is good. And Nazareth with a 31-20 lead. That took 70 seconds off the clock.
And Joliet Catholic does not have the particular offense that can come back in 6 minutes to put 11 points up on the board. I mean, that's not the way they're built. They're a running team that controls the clock, so this is coming back a little bit to haunt them with the offense that they run.
You and I have heard coaches say this forever. You got to play 48 minutes. And we saw 23 really good minutes from Joliet Catholic. And ever since the injury, they haven't responded nearly the way they needed to with a 2-touchdown lead. And it's completely flipped. That's 24 unanswered from Nazareth. This was a 20-7 ball game here in the third quarter.
Well, the type of offense that Nazareth has is conducive to being able to score like that and not take up much time because they're a big play team. And they're certainly showing us that in the second half. Plus, they made the adjustments to shut down the run that was so effective by Joliet Catholic in the first half. Granted, part of it was the injury to Grigsby.
So Brunke will kick. The Joliet Catholic sideline has gone silent. It will bounce. And picked up. A good return last time. Can he get through a tackler and gets forward at least? That'll be Preston Coleman again. Gets out to maybe the 25, 28-yard line. Malachuk has thrown a couple of touchdown passes, 3 of them on the day. This one to Walker.
Inside slant. The defensive back did not take away the inside by alignment, and that was just an easy throw and catch for Nazareth.
I'm going to talk about a guy who's feeling everything. Logan Malachuk putting his team on his shoulders and slinging it around the field. They've tried to balance the run early on, and that didn't work, so they moved on, and they continue to throw it. And now we'll see Joliet Catholic maybe throw a little more, extend their offensive push down the field, but it's Gabe Kaminsky on the stop at the 29, pickup of maybe 2.
Nazareth has really gotten a lot of confidence in their defense. A combination of the fact that Joliet Catholic doesn't have their best running back at full power, but the fact that Nazareth has gotten super aggressive here in the second half and has made some excellent defensive adjustments.
To get an idea of what it was like last year in the state championship game, Malachuk's longest completion was 39 yards against Peoria. They have been much more trying to stretch it down the field. Second down and 9. Munoz to throw. It's in and out of the hands of Washington. Pressure from Penley, who's done a great job keying on Washington today. And that brings up another third down in which Joliet Catholic is yet to convert here in the second half.
Well, it's been the tale of 2 halves for us and the tale of 2 teams.
Very impressed by how Nazareth responded out of the break. But I think, sometimes you just see an opportunity. And with Grigsby going down, the mentality certainly changed for Nazareth. Can Joliet Catholic respond? Munoz to throw. He's got Washington in a catch. He'll get out of bounds in the first down. That'll move the chains. One of the first real positive plays we've seen from Joliet Catholic here in the second half.
It was the same play as they ran before, only this ball was put on the money. The other ball was thrown too high. The exact same route.
They had 6 third downs here in this second half. That's the first one they've converted since the break. Joliet Catholic fans getting antsy here on the near side as we are under 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. Munoz to throw. He'll roll out, looking for help, and he'll just have to get rid of it, and does. That's a smart decision.
Good coverage by the secondary of Nazareth. Now, Coach Racky talked about how difficult it is during practice week to be able to have your scout team kind of run the same plays as effectively as Joliet Catholic does. And the reverse of that is for Joliet Catholic to be able to have their scout team run formations and passing game as effective as Nazareth runs it.
3 receivers to the top with Washington. He gets the catch, tries to slip out of a tackler. He can't do it. Penley's been keeping secure of him, and allows that to only a gain of 6 on that. 3rd catch of the game for Washington. Washington's a guy that, he's got 700 yards receiving. You don't see that in Joliet Catholic stats very often, but he's able to get the big one. His longest of the year is at 48, but you can see where he's effective on the edge here. Out routes 10, 12, 15 yards deep. They're going to need a lot of those here quickly.
Well, we talked about also, if you remember, Matt, about personnel, about kids playing both ways. Right now, Nazareth has their best athletes in there.
3rd and 5, Munoz. And it's intercepted. It's Tittle with a lot of green grass in front of him. Lesroy Tittle is going to take it back for a pick 6 and put it away for Nazareth. 47 yards.
What a great read on his part.
Lesroy Tittle, his first interception of the year. This fourth quarter touchdown is brought to you by Delta Dental. Find a dental plan that fits you at deltadentalil.com. We do see a flag on the field on the far side.
That was a great defensive play on his part, and it also pays off that he's 6'2".
Academy, holding. 10-yard penalty.
So that wipes out the touchdown.
That was an exciting play.
It's fun to watch. I didn't see the hold there. They did mark it at the penalty was at around the 35, so that's 10 yards back. Still, Nazareth football is the key here. Watch the play again.
Watch how he drops back right there, 6'2", and he's got some good vertical movement right there.
You saw Grigsby held that flash through your screen there. Tittle running through the goal line like a sprinter at the finish line. But the one thing that was impressive there, and you watch it again, if you watch it again, Tittle turned his head twice. Like he's looking for the receiver, looking back, looking for the receiver, trying to find his positioning. Very impressive.
Good linebackers do that.
Here's McLean dancing. Gets inside the 45, now to the 42-yard line, and stop there at the 41. So the points would have been great, but you're already up 2 scores. The real key here is the clock, 4.5 minutes.
And the key also is first down, and you can see right there he picked up about 4 to 5 yards, and that's crucial at this point of the game. Because this is where you need to use the running clock and the running game, as opposed to throwing the football and give Joliet Catholic an opportunity to get back in it, which you're not going to be able to do here if you control the run and the clock.
Just look at the statistics for Malchuk in state title games. 37 of 60 for 719 yards passing. And he's a junior.
He's a junior.
So Malchuk gives it. Angelou, we haven't seen too much of him in the running attack. They get to the 40-yard line. Joliet Catholic knows that that's going to spring up 3rd down. They have no choice but to stop the clock here. And so Malchuk will head over to the sideline and regroup here. Maybe 1 or 2 more first downs, and you can salt this away.
What a interesting turnabout in the second half by Nazareth. I mean, that just impressed me how not just the offensive firepower that they had in the second half, but the adjustments that they made in the second half. And granted, as redundant that I've been talking about Grigsby, it still has been a good adjustment stopping that particular offense and how they run it.
And it's an 11-man game. You know, it's 11 on 11, but boy, you don't want to lean on one person, and you don't for this Joliet Catholic team. But it certainly felt different. Once that Grigsby went down in that final minute of the first half, they came out as a different football team. Whether they had the confidence or not, it eroded quickly. And you can see the tide turning mentally on both sides of the football field.
That was a good point, Matt, as far as psychologically for the rest of the team, knowing basically their best breadwinner went down, and that kind of probably dragged them a wee bit down.
Malachuk will throw. First down, a whole lot more. Sestone racing to the 15. He wants to stay in bounds. Now he'll go to the goal line. And it's a touchdown for Nazareth. Sestone dancing his way, getting to the goal line and getting to the corner for the touchdown as Nazareth will put the final stamp on a state championship here in Class 5A.
Well, shows you the confidence they have in their passing game. Their passing game is the same as Joliet Catholic's running game. Each team has their own way of doing things, and Nazareth, their way of doing things is throwing the football.
This fourth quarter touchdown brought to you by Delta Dental. Extra point is good. Find a dental plan that fits you at deltadentalil.com. 38-20. That is 31 unanswered. Sestone, the fourth touchdown catch for Malachuk.
Now you can see they have receivers that know how to run with the football after they catch it. And oftentimes you look at a team and you say, well, how explosive are they? Well, look at the yardage that they have after the catch. And that's when you figure out exactly what their yardage is. Sometimes you'll see a receiver, he's got 5.6 yards per catch. And then you'll see receivers like Nazareth has that have 12 yards per catch or 17 yards per catch. That's telling you how explosive they are.
It was third down, so really all they needed to do was get first down, keep that clock going. Joliet Catholic wouldn't want to take a timeout, may have to. And you saw Sestone kind of dance like, well, should I go at the play or just try and outrun him to the goal line? Maybe by chance go down but stay in bounds. You could see the wheels turning a little bit there.
Well, high school players, they want to get that score.
Yeah.
They want to get in the end zone.
But just the thought process shows there's some intelligence there to understand game time score. And Nazareth, of course, just adding to it 321 yards of offense here in this second half. Larry Stringham on the up back, keeper on the kick return. Decent field position for Joliet Catholic as they've had all in the second half. But 18-point difference. And they are going to wonder for a long time what happens if they have their running back healthy the whole way.
Well, that's true, and then you also really got to give credit to Nazareth. They showed patience, they showed poise, and they showed a very explosive offense that they had from the latter part of the season. Certainly not in the beginning, but as they gained confidence going through the year and through their schedule.
3.5 minutes left. Munoz will find Farnes on that one. Big hit. Keegan Farnes took a lot of that. And Garrett Reese on the stop. So Nazareth appears like they will be the first team in the state of Illinois to finish the season at 9-5 with the full complement of games and a state championship to boot.
That's an amazing statistic.
Larry Stringham, ball carrier. There were at least 5 or 6 teams that were 4-5 that made the postseason for the first time. We've never seen this before. Tim Rackey, of course, when you go to 0-4, you understand that, yeah, you got to do a lot of work. But it was after that St. Francis game in Week 9 where they dropped the 4-9. They knew they were in the postseason because of the amount of points. But he lit into them a little bit in the sense of entitlement, ego, what have you, and that was a different football team that showed up in the postseason, and you had a feeling it was going to be a long run for them, particularly after they took care of Prairie Ridge the way they did.
Well, is this going to be a team as young as they were last year, as young as they are this year, to come back here next year and be looking for their third title in a row? Now, remember Tim Rackey, when he was at Driscoll, won 4 state titles in a row. And now he's looking at a team here at Nazareth that has the potential, based on their youth and now their experience of possibly winning 3 in a row. That's going to put a lot of pressure on them next year.
76-13 in 7 seasons at Driscoll, and 150, about to be 151 in 18 years. He's been doing it a long time. And a sack. Nazareth pinning their ears back a little bit. Christopher Caskey, the freshman, coming in with the sack. Joliet Catholic knowing they got to go as quick as they can, but 18 seems like a lot. Munoz hit. Ooh. Ball's out. Took a nasty hit, and he's slow to get up. It might have been, not sure who made the hit, but
this would be another game, Matt, that people that didn't watch the game will look at the score and say, that wasn't much of a game, but it was. And boy, that's a big hit right there from the backside.
That was Gabe Kaminsky. That was the All-Stater. When you got a guy like him that's just pinning his ears back and going full throttle, it's dangerous.
It's got to hurt.
It's got to hurt for sure. So 1:57 to go. But, you know, back to just the Nazareth success we've seen, you know, their 7th appearance in state finals in 9 years, 9 full seasons, to be fair, as you go through COVID. You know, they've never really had a quarterback like this. Logan Malachuk has, you know, been phenomenal. Now over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You talk about a guy who understands film. He understands, you know, what he's looking for. You know, Tim Rackey told us it's a guy on Sunday who's got the group chat going with the coaches, and, you know, you're just trying to watch the Bears game and kind of decompress, and all of a sudden you get some notes going, hey, I noticed this on that, and can we work on that and this? And, you know, the engine and motor is going all the time.
Well, the Bears could use a quarterback like him.
For 40, 50 years, yes, but we'll have to wait the next decade and generation to see if we get one. And so this is 4th down and a country mile for Joliet Catholic, 4th and 25 to be exact. Munoz hit as he's throwing, and it will flutter away and be incomplete. And that will do it. 1:52 remaining. The celebration begins for Nazareth. Munoz coming off after a valiant effort for him. But it was his counterpart that was outstanding today. Logan Malachuk, the player of the game, brought to you by Country Financial. Find out why more than 1 million families let us protect their lives and livelihoods. Visit countryfinancial.com for more information. He's had receivers that have been able to make individual plays. And he's been able to throw some laser touchdown passes as well. 414 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Gatorade bath has commenced. There's a lot of assistance, and Casey Moran dialed up one heck of a game plan and made some great adjustments after the run wasn't really working for them. They made sure they stuck to the air, and they blitzed Joliet Catholic's defense for 400 yards passing. We'll take another knee.
Well, we wouldn't have expected this coming into the second half, that we'd be seeing Nazareth taking a knee.
300 plus yards alone in the second half. Tim Rackey for him. This is going to be his 9th state championship as a head coach. He's one of the best to ever do it. And when he got to Nazareth, they were not the Nazareth they are now. They lost 13 games in his first 2 seasons. Remember, he lost 12 in his entire career at Driscoll. So it's a little bit different. The celebration is on. The drive with 5. The first Illinois team to win a state championship with 5 losses. Nazareth comes roaring back from an 0-4 start to take the title here in Normal. 38-20 is our final score. And it's a schedule that tested you to its limits.
Amazing.
And they survived it.
Absolutely amazing. From their first 4 football games. And actually, early on, I was at the York game, and it was quite a surprise because that was the second game of the year. And here they're coming in the second game of the year, and they're playing a 8A team. and they're defending state champ, and York beat them 42-13. I actually left right after halftime because they didn't look like any defending state champion that I've ever seen. And York looked real good, and of course York just lost in the semis to Loyola, but at that point I would never have thought that this was a possibility.
They flipped the script, and they got all the way back to the top of the mountain, and back-to-back state championships for Nazareth. A winner in 2018, a winner in 2014 and 2015. This is the 6th state championship. Correction, 5th state championship in school history. And they are one of the premier programs. You put them in that conversation now as Nazareth gets the job done. We'll have some conversations and a state trophy presentation when we come back.
The IHSA Football State Championships are being brought to you in part by Menards, SIU Carbondale, and by Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
You never know when you might be involved in an accident, so please put my number in your phone, 312-6million. Injury law made personal, that's Aiken Law.
Prepare for the holidays with great Black Friday deals at Menards. We have the perfect gifts for your family and friends, or to help finish your projects, both big and small. Now's the perfect time to hurry in and get these amazing stocking stuffers and other fantastic gifts. Menards Black Friday deals are so great that even Santa himself can't resist.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
A little history here in Normal. Nazareth at 9-5. They become the first team in Illinois history to win a state championship with 5 losses on their schedule. Tested all the way for 14 weeks. And they're celebrating with the other 700-plus students they have that have made the drive down from the western suburbs, from LaGrange Park and communities nearby. And Nazareth, the state champions here in 2023. Let's send it down to Casey Standahar.
Matt, thank you. I'm here with Logan Malachek. Logan, congratulations on the championship. You were down early, but your team responded with 414 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 31 unanswered points. What did Coach Racky tell you at halftime?
I mean, nothing really special. I mean, just battling through adversity. I mean, we've been doing that all year. I mean, starting 0-4, coming into postseason 4-5. I mean, we battled through adversity, and he just told us just to stick together, and we know what we could do, and we just showed it right there, and yeah, just great win.
The momentum-shifting moment was that interception from Comiskey. What can you say about him and Jimmy Pendling?
They're both great players. I mean, I played grade school football with them, so I knew that they were always special. And I mean, I love them. I love them so much, and they're just great teammates and great players.
You're state champions, and you return next year. You're only a junior for more action next year. What will you cherish most about this team and this day?
Oh, I mean, of course the win, but I mean, just for these seniors, I mean, I'm so thankful because they were a great class, and they are a great class, just guiding us and helping us, and I mean, just being big role models for us and big brothers, and I'm just so happy we got the win for them, and they can go out with the state championship.
Logan, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
We'll bring in Coach Racky. Big hug for his quarterback. Coach, congratulations. Your team seized the opportunity, seized the moment. You said it at halftime. You've been here before. How much of that experience helped your group today?
That experience, this entire journey is what helped this group today, because you talk about a resilient group, a persistent group, a group that learned from failure, didn't fold against failure, and more importantly, because of our culture, never pointed fingers and knew that we'd find a way out. And here we are. And I'm so happy for these guys because they taught me more than I taught them this season. They're just a great group of kids.
Coach, you always get emotional when you talk about these kids. You talk about Comiskey, you talk about Penley, you talk about Logan. Their team chemistry, just how important is that for you?
Oh, it's incredible. And they've been on varsity since they were freshmen. So they're really, I've never had four-year players, which I will with this small core group of guys. And it's more about who they are, you know, when they take the helmet off. And they just have their priorities in straight because of their parents. They're just, their parents are awesome and gave me great kids to work with.
Coach Racky, you're champion. Congratulations.
Thank you
So much.
Go there.
Matt, we'll send it back to you.
Small group of four-year starters. Fauski, a junior. Sestone, a sophomore. Jimmy Penley, a junior. Walker, a sophomore. Angelou, a junior. And Malachuk, a junior. Oh, yeah, Kaminsky, a junior. Not as small as I think the rest of the Illinois schools that will face them next year want to think. Let's head it down to the public address announcer for our trophy presentation.
Are Dwayne Bates of Glenbard East and Tom Shergan of Chicago de La Salle. Finishing the season in second place, the Joliet Catholic Academy Hilltoppers. Individual awards will be presented to Principal Jeff Buds, Athletic Director Jim O'Brien, Head Coach Jake Jaworski, and the Hilltoppers captain. At this time, we'll present the second place trophy to the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers, who finished the season with a final record of 10 wins and 4 losses. Congratulations to the Hilltoppers.
Just got to back up a little bit so they can walk and give the medals. We're right in the line.
Finishing the season as the Class 5A state champions, the Nazareth Academy Roadrunners. Individual awards will be presented to School President Deborah Tracy, Principal Therese Hawkins, Athletic Director Mike Mano, Head Coach Tim Racky, and the Roadrunners captain. And at this time, we will present the championship trophy to the Nazareth Roadrunners, who finished the season with a final record of 9 wins and 5 losses. Congratulations to the Roadrunners.
It was a drive for 5 with 5 losses. Nazareth wins their 5th state championship in school history, and they've won all of them in the last decade. putting themselves in the conversation with the school greats like the East St. Louis's, the Mount Carmels, Joliet Catholics, and the Loyolas. Nazareth is here to stay, and the Roadrunners ain't running away from anyone on their schedule. 5 losses, and they end up as the first one at 9-5 to win a state championship. Congrats to Nazareth. We've got 6A football coming up, and we'll send it back to Darius and Tim in the studio.
Hey, Matt, how about Tim Rackey? He said at halftime he was not worried about it. They were right. Yep. They were comfortable with where they wanted to be. And how about for him, his 5th championship at Nazareth, now 9 in his career. He gets it done again.
Yeah, just incredible. Totally a tale of 2 halves. And as we said, you saw that experience. And it's so strange. It's a young team, yet experienced team. 8 starters on offense back, 9 starters on defense. It's amazing what they've done. And they're not done. They could be back here again next year. So just hats off to Nazareth Academy. Just tremendous, tremendous game.
I'm sure all of 5A is very happy with how young Nazareth Academy is. 31 straight points as they get the victory, 38-20 in the 5A championship, their 2nd championship in 2 years. We got a lot more to come from this game. Plenty of highlights and, of course, the reactions from these coaches here after they get their win in the 5A championship. We got highlights and preparing you for the rest of the day when we come back.
Stop scrolling. I'm here to help.
For what?
ACA Health Insurance Marketplace